All right, welcome again to another reaction. This time we have Cooley on the No Fuji podcast, going up against captain of 13,000 in the ISUPK, Captain Tazaryach. And I guess, Coolio, Slakia, saying thought that the captain was a walkover because, them podcaster, them know for talk, and talk fast and them eloquent, but a lot of what them are saying don't make no sense. So, Cap go dry him out in the water and drown him. You know the thing already. As on jump in, you just press the like button, subscribe. And, interact with the reaction. You know the thing already. Yeah, man. Let's get straight into it.
Maybe.
Welcome to No Fugaazy podcast. I'm your host, Cooley. Tonight is debate night. We got Captain Tazaryach joining us for Does God Give Us Free Will? Let's hop into the intro. Actually, Gabby, you done. And you want to leave too? This is how our relationship goes. God over man, man over woman, woman over children. All right, ladies and gents, we are back. Let's get the likes up. This is going to be a good discussion. Subscribe to the YouTube channel if you haven't. Let's get into the usual scheduled programming before I bring them on up and we start this debate. Let's have everyone click the description. We got a few links in there. First link is going to be for the members. If you like the podcast and you want to support the show, become a member, man. We got 3 tiers: gang, hitman, and mob ties. You join any of those tiers, you locked in with us. You get to hit me up on Instagram. I hit you right back. And any ideas that you have for the show, if they're good ideas, I'll implement your ideas into the show. The next link is going to be for one-on-one coaching. Click that link, man, if you do need some coaching on dating and relationships, masculinity, and as well as media and marketing. The next link is going to be for the Clips channel. Sign up for the Clips channel, man, and subscribe to it. It's free. If anything happens with the main channel, we're going to be on the Clips channel. The next link is for the Discord, man. Discord is free. Chop it up with us in the Discord. So join the Discord, please, and thank you. Let's go ahead and bring them on up and get things started, man. Oh, before I do so, we are live on Facebook and YouTube. So everybody on Facebook, we probably only going to stay live for, I would say, like 30 minutes. And then we're going to close down that stream. So be prepared and be ready to come on over to YouTube when I do close down a Facebook stream. All right, let's bring him on up. Boom, 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 boom. Hey, brother, what's going on?
Hey,
welcome to No Fugaazy podcast.
Hey, man, I appreciate you having me on, man.
Can't hear you right now. No audio.
All right, wait. I had it muted. I apologize. No, I appreciate you having me on, man. Looking forward to a good dialogue. It's been a while. I actually like the last conversation. Because what I like is we were kind of both passionate about what we believed in. But I never felt disrespected outside of just the dialogue. So I actually love the conversation, me, myself. So I've been all right. How about yourself, man?
Yo, man, I've been good. I could say the same, man. Me and you chop it up via Instagram all the time. Mm-hmm. And yeah, man, it's a mutual respect. We may have different perspectives, share different opinions, have a totally different worldview on certain topics, but at the end of the day, we got no beef.
Right. Yeah, definitely. Right. And that, what bugged me out, because like my audience be like, why you don't do this then? Why? I said, he ain't my enemy like that. Like, I ain't trying to, talk to the brother like I'm trying to harm him or something like that. We just disagree on
Yeah, we actually chop it up. I'll send you some stuff. You send me some stuff. Yeah,
live stream. I was laughing at the live stream. So I mean, we have some good time. At least I thought so. Nice. And I think
me too,
we need to see that because I think just because we differ doesn't mean that we can't still be brothers. You know what I mean? And have good conversations and stuff. Like it's almost like I like battle rap, for example. So when them battle rappers be battling, they be saying now they say some egregious things. To
personal attacks. Yeah, they be going in.
And then when it be over, they just dap each other up, have a drink.
Like, yo, we made mad bread off of this.
We made mad bread off of this. They just talk about their mama, their kids. They gonna kill them about 12,000 times. And then they pop it up. So if they could do that, I think we should be able to, do the same thing, if not better. So
that's a fact. That's a fact, man. I definitely agree, man. I definitely agree. Mm-hmm. So let's go ahead and get started with this. So we're gonna have 2 openings, well, 1 opening each. We have up to 4 minutes. So me and Tazaryach, for the audience to know, we went over the rules and everything. I'll have up to 4 minutes to do my opening. He'll have up to 4 minutes to do his opening. Once again, this debate is about free will and does God give us free will? So that's what the debate topic is about. Cool? Sounds good?
Yep, sounds good to me.
All right. Let's get this started then, man.
Let's get ready to rumble!
All right. Oh, let me bring you back up. Okay.
All right.
Okay. Also, anyone that has, so we are going to be taking questions at the end of the debate. So, if you have any questions, send in your super chats because all super chats will be read at the end of the debate. So, man, any questions you have for me personally, for Tazaryach personally, or both of us, please have your questions ready because I will get to them at the end of the debate. I'm not going to read any questions during the debates, but you can send them in now, but I will get to all of them in order as well. All right, so here's my open. I actually written this down too. So we are debating currently about free will and does God give us free will? This debate is already over before it even starts because I am debating a man that opposes free will but deeply believes in the Bible. Now, if Tazaryach was an atheist believing in free will, this would make sense, but he isn't. I'll explain how this will go. He'll attempt to appeal to biblical scriptures to prove his point that we do not have free will, but simultaneously being unaware that the properties in the scriptures appeals to choice and value systems, things like good and bad, and having consequences and placing judgment for choosing good and bad. Believing in God and the Bible but not believing in free will is very nonsensical and paradoxical. This belief strips all accountability away from us. If we do not have the free will of choice in his worldview, God makes every decision for us. That's his worldview, which means that God is responsible and accountable. That's what that means. We're not accountable. We're not responsible. God is. So then why would God judge us if we are not responsible for our choices? That will conclude my opening. I think I did that in about a minute and a half. If you want to go ahead and take all 4 minutes, man, go ahead.
No, I don't know if I need 4 minutes. So the subject of this particular battle is, does God give us free will? My position is that God does not give us free will, because there's nothing that God tells us to do that doesn't come with consequence or blessing. So you notice when Cooley was speaking, he snuck in that word choice. Now, if someone makes the argument that you have a choice, I'm not going to argue that, but you don't have a free will. If I was to just give one scripture, Deuteronomy 30:16, God says, I've set before thee this day life and death. That's almost like in Philly when they used to have that crew called Get Down or Lay Down. Or it's almost like if somebody puts a gun to your head and give me your jacket, you'll live. Don't give me your jacket and you die. You do not have free will. You're either going to do it You're either going to give up the jacket and live, or you're going to keep the jacket and die with the jacket. So that's what God gave us. God gave us the choice to keep his commandments and live, or to break his commandments and die. If I freely was to give Cooley $500 and I said, I'm giving you this at no cost or anything like that, I just gave him $500 freely. There's no consequence. There's no blessing. But if I say to Cooley, hey, I'm going to give you this $500, but I need this back in 2 weeks. If I don't get it, you're going to see a whole nother side of Tazaryach. Then after them 2 weeks, he either going to put that 500 in my hand or I'm going to lay hands. So there's nothing that's free unless it's free. So I'll end it right there because the brother only took like a minute and a half. So that's kind of like my position. I do come from the Bible, but the one thing I'll end is the concept of free will does not come from the Bible. That's not the origin of free will. I end it there.
Okay, cool. So this will be the part where it's just going to be free for all debate, man. I guess since I went first, you went last. I'll go ahead and pose the first question then.
That's fine.
And then also at the end of the debate, I'll let you do your closing last, and I'll let you do your closing first, and I'll do my closing last.
Okay, that works for me. That's cool.
Cool. All right, cool. So I mean, okay, I get what you're saying. So my first question, so even if you read Deuteronomy, if you read it fully through, if you read Deuteronomy 30, Deuteronomy 30, 19, it says, I call heaven and earth to witness against you today that I have set before you life and death, blessings and curse. Choose life. If he would have read it all, it says, choose life, then that you and your descendants may live. So this is God telling us that we have free will. I'll also read a scripture before. I don't even have any questions right now. These are statements.
Okay.
But if you have any questions for me afterwards, you can go ahead and get to this. Or if you have any statements, you could do that too.
Gotcha.
But I just wanted to read the full length of your scripture to even to point out that God even said, choose, make a choice. If you choose this, you're dead. But if you choose that, you live. So here's Romans 7:19. For the good that I would, I do not, but the evil which I would not, that I do. This seems to suggest that it is possible for a person to choose against his or her desires. I'll leave it at that.
Okay, no sweat. So I want everybody to pay attention that Cooley is kind of doing what I expected. He's changing the word that he's using. If he would have hit me up and said, Cap, do you believe that we can make a choice to obey God or disobey God? I would have said, yes, we can make that choice. But he did not use the word choice. He used the word free will. Free will is not in the Bible. So I'm going to respond to your scriptures and then I'm going to just make a statement. So in Deuteronomy 30, when he read the whole entire thing, that further proves my point. So in Deuteronomy 30:19, when it says, I call heaven and earth to record this day against you, that I've set before you life and death, blessings and cursings, therefore choose life, that both thou and thy seed may live. He's really telling you what to do. He's not giving you a choice. That end of that verse where it says, therefore choose life, that both thou and thy seed may live. If you choose to not listen to him, then you're choosing death. So if choice is the conversation you want to have, then I'll have a different response. But if free will is the conversation that you want to have, this verse proves that there's no free will. Even in Romans 7, I think you read 7:16. I'm going to read.
I read 7:19.
Oh, 19. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm going to read. I think I'm going to start at 16. So in Romans 7:16, it says, if then, I'm sorry, I'm 17. It says, now then it is no more I that do it, but sin that dwelleth in me. For I know that in me, that is my flesh, dwelleth no good thing. For to will is present within me, but how to perform that which is good I find not. For the good that I for the good that this always tongue-tie me. For the good that I do not, but the evil which I would not, that I do. That's him choosing to obey so that he can live. because he knows that if he consents into the evil, the sin dwells in him. So how does he avoid the sin? How does he avoid dying? Even Romans, the 6th chapter, talks about death reigning until the time of Moses. Why? Because when we made the irrational choice of thinking we can have the free will to disobey God, we were punished for it. So if I could, real briefly, I want to read this article, if you don't mind. It's called Augustine, Advocate of Free Will, Defender of Predestination. I'm just going to read. I'm going to skim through it. It's kind of long, but I'm going to skim through it. It says the relationship.
Sure, go ahead, man. Yeah.
Thank you. And I can share this to you if you want. It's a PDF I got off online. It's from the EDU journal site. It's about Augustine, because the concept of free will comes from Augustine, comes from the Roman Catholic Church. And the reason why they developed the concept, and you'll see where it comes from before the Roman Catholic Church, but the reason why the Catholic Church did that is because they had to explain why so many evil things are happening to people that believe in God. And so the church pushes that God is all good. So if God is all good, why does the evil happen? And nobody wanted to tell the truth to the church people, that God does the evil to us. Christ does the evil to us. And I can prove that in the Bible. So it says the relationship between God and mankind has been one of distress and apparent contradiction. The story of the fall in the 3rd chapter of Genesis gives an account of our present existence, which is marked by a fundamental separation of man and his creator, each of whom reside on a different side of barrier of sin. The barrier which Genesis tells us was built by Adam's fault poses 2 major issues for the Judeo-Christian tradition. The first is that the side on which man resides, removed the source of goodness and fulfillment, is permeated by evil, suffering, and sin. An architectural question arising from this situation is how God, who is both omnipotent and maximally good, can permit the existence of such evil. And furthermore, how evil can exist since the beneficent since the beneficent creator of the source of all. The second profound issue concerns the reunification of God and humans. How is the barrier of sin broken and the gap bridged? Who is active in traversing it? So now this was a question posed to the Roman Catholic Church. And so Augustine, who is highly regarded as being a church doctor, one of the most respectable and influential thinkers to have ever written, it is difficult to comprehend how any intellectual could argue so fervently for concepts as dissimilar as free will and predestination, because that was the 2 arguments. One is free will, and one is we're predestined to be in the condition that we are. The 2 seems are mutually exclusive. If a person is predestined, his free choice appears to be rendered rather illusory, or at best trivial. This has led some of the readers to conclude that there existed 2 Augustines. So that's how they divided him. They divided him into 2 Augustines because they could not fathom the concept of how in one breath Augustine is saying free will, in another breath he's saying we're predestined. So the only way, and I'll give you the floor, I appreciate you giving me the space. So the only thing that we can conclude based on the origin of Augustine creating it to solve the problem of the evil is that they created free will to have an answer to why we get punished instead of telling the truth that God punished you. I'll end with this scripture. This is Isaiah 45:7. It says, I form the light and create darkness. I make peace and create evil. I, the Lord, do these things. So now we've just answered that there is no such thing as free will, because the answer to the evil is that God does the evil. When does he do the evil? When we disobey. I yield the floor to you. I appreciate it.
Got it. Yep. So here he just, like I told you what he would do in my opening, he's going to appeal to the Bible, which also appeals to free will. And I'll explain what he just did. Now he's saying that, I'm speaking about choice, and he's trying to differentiate between choice and free will. So actually, before I even get into these questions that I have, the first question would be he has to do is define what he means by free will. What is the difference between free will and choice?
This is a song about a legend. She's the quiet kind of legend.
The difference between free will is that free will is something that you get with no consequence or no benefit.
So free will you get with no consequence or no benefit?
Yes. That's why I use the example. If I give you $500 freely, there's nothing that comes with it. But if I give you this $500 under conditions, then there is choice. That's why I said if you ask me about choice, I would agree. We have a choice, but that choice comes with consequence. So that's the difference between free will. Got
it. Well, how you just explained it, that to me that makes no sense at all. So you just said
about to say it makes sense, but
no.
the way your head wave like that,
it makes no sense. Yeah, it makes no sense at all. Right, so free will, your idea of free will, it is void of consequence. So free will, you really didn't explain it too much for me how you view of it. You just said it's void of consequence. Mm-hmm. Then you gave an example of if I give you money and don't expect anything, that's free. It was my will to give it to you, and that's free, right? I don't view free will that way. I don't think anyone really views free will that way. I believe that choice is attached to free will, like the will to do something. You have a desire to do something, a will to do something. There's some people that have an addiction problem. But then guess what? Their will supersedes their desires. So their will would supersede the desires to do something. So in one sense, it's still free will because they are choosing to submit to their desires. On the other hand, it is still free will because they are choosing for their morals to supersede their fleshful desires. So it's a double-edged sword. You're getting stabbed on each end with free will. So I'll just pose this question for you. I kind of just need some yeses or nos to these questions, because I just want to see if I got your worldview proper.
Okay, no problem.
Do you believe that God wants us not to sin?
Yes.
Do you believe that God makes us sin?
No.
Okay, so that's a contradiction. So if you believe that there isn't any free will, then how can you say that on one hand God wants you to sin, but on the other hand, God doesn't want you to sin, but on the other hand, you believe that there isn't any free will, but God doesn't make you sin?
Yeah, he doesn't.
If you don't believe in free will, then everything is controlled by God. Do I have that right? Yes or no?
Wait, say that last part again. Say it one more time.
Okay, so you don't believe in free will. Is everything controlled by God?
Yes.
Okay, so if everything is controlled by God and God does not want you to sin, everything is controlled. God still made you sin.
No. So
explain that for me.
Thank you. No problem. I know. Listen, man, you gonna learn the Bible today. So now,
listen, we could both bring up scriptures and stuff like that,
right?
But we can just have a logical. It got to make sense. We have to have a logical discussion that makes sense.
Right. I got to be able to hear you. You got to be able to hear me. So
for sure.
Deuteronomy 30. Did God say freely choose life, or did He just say choose life? Which one?
Choice. The fact that you have choice, you have it's free. The fact that you have choice, it is free. And I'll explain so the audience can understand my worldview a little bit, because I'm more coming after your worldview, but let's speak about my worldview of
because this is important.
Free will.
Then I got a follow-up question after that.
Because then you got a follow-up question. Fair enough.
I got a couple questions,
Okay, cool. So when I'm speaking about choice, the ability to make choice means that influence creates thinking, thinking creates behavior. we have things that we are influenced by, like our biology. That's a that's a huge influence to us. I would say that's the first thing. The testosterone, the estrogen, these are things that influences our thinking, our desires, and our choice. Then we have, that's the internal. Then we have the external forces, things like your community, your family, the society that you live in, the school that you go to, the church that you go to, the religion. You could be Hindu, you could be Muslim, you could be Christian. We have all of these external desires. At the end of all of this is choice, and choice is free, meaning that you can be influenced by think about a homosexual. That man, his entire biology is telling him to like vagina, but his choice of that, let's see, what can I say? The choice that he made supersedes his actual biology. So his biology is telling him, no, get the small waist, the wide hips, get some boobs. It's telling you the testosterone. But his own free will, his own choice, he's choosing to neglect his biological makeup and sleep with a man, a homosexual. You get what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. So even like using the LGBTQ community, right? That's a huge example. I don't believe that they were born that way. I believe that they make those choices. That's a huge example that, Brad, they got people, you are born a man, but you think you're a girl and you want to put on women's clothes and stuff like that. You are making that choice. Mm-hmm. Your desire to want to be a woman, to really want to be a woman, supersedes your biological urges. So what I'm saying is choice is at the tail end of everything that is influencing you. And you have the ability to one, not make a choice at all, meaning that you can, for an example, if you let's say you're handed something, you could take it, you can not take it, you can take it and walk away. So you have really four choices. You have a choice to not do anything, which is a choice. You have a choice to do something, which is a choice, or you have a choice to reject it, which is a choice as well. Or you have a choice to just stay stagnant.
So when it comes to God, right? When
go ahead.
He makes the statement, and this is why I use the term get down or lay down. If the consequence of not listening is death, is God giving you free will?
Yeah.
Wow. So, okay, this is no, but see how you keep saying you have a choice? Nobody's negating choice. That's the term that
and I guess that's the debate then. So right. You have to actually differentiate the difference between free will and choice. Your example that you gave was free will means not having any consequences.
That's right. But choice has the consequence. That's why in Deuteronomy 30.
But then what I'm saying is everything that you do is a choice. Like even if you choose to give something or to take something, it's all a choice.
Right. So that's why I said that even the homosexual analogy you gave, that's why they get AIDS. Because that's what comes with homosexuality. That's why they get the diseases. I think, was it monkeypox? Monkeypox was an anal sex disease. So
okay, so here's what you're doing. You're saying free will is void. This is your definition. You just made this up. You're saying that you believe that free will is void of consequences. There's not anything in its human existence that's void of consequences.
Got another question. Is free will an origin of the Bible or something outside of the Bible? The concept of free will.
The entire concept of free will is all in the Bible and outside of the Bible.
No, what I mean is I'm not saying that you,
because there's atheists that.
No, let me just make it.
Okay, go ahead. Yeah, make your question.
I'm asking.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that you're not looking at scriptures and saying that's an example of free will. I'm talking about the very concept of free will. Is that born out of people teaching the Bible, or was that born out of people outside of the Bible? The concept itself is what I'm asking you.
Yeah, the concept itself was the first man. It was the concept itself was we live in the reality of the concept of free will. Like it's a reality because we all, for my worldview, since everything has consequences and nothing doesn't have any consequences, you cannot say that free will is void of consequences. That's like saying that you like, do you believe in evolution and we came from nothing?
No, but the reason why I make that statement, because when you look this up in history, I'm gonna read this article. It's on encyclopedia.com. It says the history of the concept of free will. It says the main stages in the development of the notion of free will may be characterized as follows. The philosophical bases were first proposed by Greek thinkers. They were then developed systematically by patristic and medieval writers under the influence of Christian religion. Then controversies arose in later scholasticism, traceable largely to the Protestant Reformation and its underlying causes. And these were followed finally by the diversity of views that typifies modern thoughts on subjects. So Plato and Aristotle, they are the ones that formulate.
Yeah, but what does this prove? This isn't proving your argument.
No.
You reading something which I already know of the influence of the word of free will. I'm not speaking about that. If we strip it down to what you said, the concept of free will, I'm saying that the world that we exist in is free will, because if it wasn't, okay, go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
What I'm saying though is that concept or that thought process is what filtered into the Christian church, because then, as I read the other point in history that you didn't answer, Augustine, who's the father of free will.
What didn't I answer?
So Augustine is the father of free will and created free will to help people understand why the evil was happening. When I read that article, the concept of free will developed because the church teaches that God is all good. I'm pretty sure you heard that terminology. So if God is all good, why are all these evil things happening? And so Augustine came up with the concept that it's free will because we freely obey God. That's it. But
what does that prove? I'm not sure where you're going with this. Question on the end of this.
Here's my question.
Okay.
Before I get to the question, I just want to make one more statement. If God is punishing us and God is the one that's causing the evil, how can anybody say that we can freely obey God or freely disobey God? That's my question.
But you believe that God is the one that's created. You believe that God is the one that's actually real quick.
Right, but that's not answering the question though.
Okay, here's the answer.
Okay.
If you believe that, right, then that's a contradiction to your last statement of my first question, because my first question was, it's going to tie in together. My first question was, well, does God want you not to sin?
Right.
You said no.
Right.
Then I said, does God make you sin? You said no.
No. I said, no. When you said, does God make you sin? I said no. When you said, does God want you to sin? No. The way you asked the question was different because my answer was a yes and a no when you first asked me. So I think you asked it different than the way you're asking it now. Because I think the first question you
asked, I
had
it written down.
Yeah, the first question you asked, does God want us to sin? I said no, or not to sin. I think you might have said, does God want us not to sin? And I said yes.
Totally fine. Does God want you not to sin?
Right.
You said yes.
And then you said, does God make
you sin?
You said no. No. Right.
Okay.
So how does that go with my question of the evil?
Okay. So your question is of the evil. If God, but you said something there as well.
What I said was, so my question to you was, if God punishes us if we do evil, how can we freely obey or disobey him if he punishes us for the evil? That's the question.
Okay, if I'll just repeat it back then. If God punishes us for doing evil, how can we freely obey?
How can we freely disobey?
How can we freely disobey?
Right.
There's people all the time that freely disobey God.
They don't.
Look at the Christians. Look at the Christians that have the LGBTQ plus flag on their church.
They're not freely disobeying though.
Oh, you don't think that they're freely disobeying?
Because God punishes them.
What? what does the punishment is the end of it. So before you do something, well, first you have to do something. You take an action, and you're responsible for your action. You're accountable for the actions that you're taking, because we are human beings of agency. And then the byproduct, depending on if your action is good or bad, then you receive consequences. So the consequences come after you do good or bad. So the consequences comes after the choice. You get what I'm saying? So you're trying to like compact everything together. Like, well, how can you not sin if you're going to be judged for it? Like if you're going to experience consequences. Well, that's like you're saying, how can you make a choice in that decision? People choose to act in ways of their own desires, or people have discipline and choose to act in ways despite of their desires. That happens every day. But like you go to the gym. I've seen some things on your on your Instagram. I go to the gym too. We get it in, right? Yeah. So you go to the gym. Are there days that your desire to go to the gym is lower than your desire to just be at home and chill? Sometimes you just want to be at home and chill, and you don't really have the desire to go. But you still
sidebar. Sometimes those be the best workouts though. Sidebar.
Those facts do. Sidebar.
Yeah.
Sidebar. But you still act despite how you feel. You act despite your desires. So you are still making the choice, even though you have this desire that you just want to truly be home and kick it and chill and not really worried about the gym. But your free will, your willpower supersedes your own desires. So that is choice. So the consequence of you being disciplined, normally in a gym, you get bigger, you get more muscle. The consequences of submitting to your desires, well, you become lackadaisical, you get chubbier. So there's consequences for every action that we take. Like, try to disprove that. Your question doesn't disprove like anything about free will, like anything about consequences.
I think so. You notice when I said when you talked about the church with the LBGT, and I said they're getting punished. I think we might be having a human versus God conversation. Humans, and everything that you're saying is the rationalization that the Catholic Church has done, that the Greeks have done before them. They're trying to rationalize the good and evil that takes place as they try to obey God. That's one side of it. Whereas God is punishing you if you disobey. If there's no disobedience.
But if you don't disobey, then you don't get punished.
Wait, if you
So that means that you have the choice to obey or to not, or to disobey, which is free will.
Nobody argue. No, it's not free.
It's free will, man. What?
If you don't break the commandments of God, you get a blessing. If you break the commandments of God, you get a cursing. God is the punisher and the blesser. And here's why people think it's free. In Ecclesiastes, I think it's the 8th chapter, it says, because sentence against the evil act is not executed speedily. It is in them, it says, because sentence against an evil work is not executed speedily. Therefore, the heart of the sons of men is set to fully do evil. So you see this from the garden. And the Garden of Eden is a prime example of you don't have free will. In Genesis,
I think that was I don't interpret it that way at all.
Well, but
go ahead. Go ahead.
So in Genesis 2:16, God gives Adam an instruction that says, this is Genesis 2:16 and 17. It says, and the Lord God commanded the man, saying, of every tree of the garden thou mayest freely eat. Now that's free to eat of those things, but the tree of the knowledge of good and evil, thou shalt not eat of it. For in the day that thou eatest of it, thou shalt die. So now this is get down and lay down. So if he don't eat this tree, he'll live. If he eats this tree, he'll die.
Vibe coders, ready to build more? Meet Base 44.
Philosopher, the serpent. The serpent came in Genesis, the 3rd chapter, goes to that woman, sidebar. I do like your intro when you have, I think you got God, man, woman. That is the order. And Adam wasn't supposed to listen to his woman at all. But that's what our enemies do. Our enemies go to the woman to subvert us. And that's what took place here. So the serpent goes to the woman, and the serpent said to that woman, ye shall not surely die. Now, sidebar, you can use this for your message when you be teaching or when you be talking to them sisters. When that serpent told that woman, when that serpent told that woman she shall not die, in her mind, her man was lying to her. And in her mind, she now gets to teach him and usurp authority over him. That's why I said you can use that. And that be the problem. Women thinking they can have authority over man, and they cannot. And then the serpent told her something else that was good. He said, for God doth know that in the day that ye eat thereof, then your eyes shall be open, and ye shall be as gods, knowing good and evil. All that woman heard was, you mean I'm going to be a god? Which is what these black women think they is. They think they God, and they think they can tell men what to do. So now, as she eats that from the knowledge of good and evil that she wasn't supposed to, and then give it to her husband, my question to you, was they punished for it? Yes or no?
Yes.
So why were they punished if they had free will?
They was punished because they made the wrong choice. They had the free will to make a choice to obey God, or they had the free will to make the choice to disobey God, to be disobedient. So it's very simple, right? Like with that story and how you interpreted it, the reason why Eve, the serpent couldn't get to Adam because Adam wasn't as susceptible as Eve. Eve was more susceptible to outside influences than Adam was. So the serpent influenced Eve, and then Eve influenced Adam. So the moral of the story was women are more susceptible to outside influences than men are. So they should pay very attention.
This one we agree on.
They should pay very close attention to what they're being influenced by, the TV that they watch, the friends they hang around, and everything else. Men are very, very much more susceptible to women. So women are susceptible to outside influences, and men are susceptible to women. So Adam should not have listened to Eve, but he was very susceptible to that. He wasn't susceptible to the serpent, the outside influence, but he was susceptible to Eve. Now they've received consequences. They didn't receive
consequence. They was punished.
Yeah, well, that's the definition of consequences. If you do something that you're not supposed to be doing, if I create something, right? But forget about that analogy real quick. I have a question for you, because there's many different ways that I can attack this, but I think where we are missing one another, or where you're missing me, I'm saying that free will is attached to choice. It is attached. You think that free will is only void of consequences. So this entire debate, that doesn't really make any sense. So let's just say, I guess we're just using different words to express what we mean. My definition of choice is the same definition of free will. Your definition of choice is my definition of free will, but it's not your definition of free will. You have a different definition of free will.
Well, what I'm saying is, historically, free will was created to help Christians understand evil. You understand that, right?
Okay, I don't believe that. If that's the case, I
can read it again.
Okay, no, you don't have to read anything. We could just speak about this logically, because as much reading as you've done, I've done as well. So let's just have a logical discussion. Why do we create systems of law and order and judge people on breaking the law when God made, if there's no free will, right? Why did we establish, let's say, not people that don't even read the Bible, people outside of the Bible and people inside the Bible, we all operate under the same system of, if you do X, Y, Z, then if we don't agree upon this, you will experience consequences. If you do X, Y, Z, and we do agree upon this, you won't receive any consequences. So there's always a reaction to any action that you do. That's just the world that we live in this physical world that we live in. For every action, there's a reaction. So what you're explaining about free will, that's life. Like, I agree with it. We have no disagreement on
I'm not explaining free will, though.
you're explaining. I'm sorry, you're explaining choice,
Right?
And how you explain choice and the consequences of choice. That's how I explain free will.
Right, but what I'm saying, so what I'm really explaining is that God does the good and the evil, and when the Christians couldn't say with strength that God is the one killing, God is the one punishing, God is the one giving disease, causing earthquakes, when Christians wouldn't just outright say it, I teach the truth.
But that's a contradiction to the first question that I asked. The first question that I asked is, God wants you not to do sin. You said yes, God does not want you to do sin. Then the next question I asked, does God make you sin? You said no.
I said no.
You just literally said God is the one that makes you do the good and the evil. God is in control of all of that.
No, I said God is the one that does the evil. God doesn't make us. In James 1.
So real quick, let me understand. So you're saying that God is the one that does the evil. So does humans do any evil?
Okay,
if God does everything?
I'm gonna read this scripture, then I'm gonna explain exactly. I'm gonna read two scriptures.
But before you read it, because I'll let you go on and kind of do your style in the beginning. Maybe can we just do my style, like the back and forth a little bit?
I'll paraphrase
if you don't mind.
Okay, then
if you don't mind.
I won't read the scripture then. I'll just paraphrase where it's at. Fair enough? That way I'm not reading the whole thing.
But what I'm saying is I'm just like having a logical discussion and getting down to the thinking, like how you're thinking about things and how you're moving definitions of words around.
Scriptures, no sweat. So God doesn't make us do evil or good. God sets the rules in front of us. And then
of good and evil.
Yeah, the good being keeping the commandments, the evil being not keeping the commandments.
Totally agree. So God, morality is objective, and God is the holder of morality, the good and the evil.
I wouldn't say morality is objective. Morality is based on living by God. But the part that I want to separate, when I say God creates the evil,
that's another contradiction. But go ahead.
No,
okay, explain it for me.
When I say God creates the evil, I'm not saying God creates the drug dealer. God creates the homosexual. What I'm saying the evil is when we dying, AIDS, high blood pressure, diabetes, murder, earthquakes, that's God's evil. The evil I'm talking about from God is his judgments. The evil from God is not somebody selling drugs. That man chose to disobey the commandments of God. The evil is not a man sleeping with another man's woman. That man chose it. God is just going to punish him. So
that's consequences. Consequences and judgment is the same thing.
Right.
So, I mean, I don't have any problem with that part, but
so then if you're saying no free will,
I don't agree with you. The part that is paradoxical, it's very paradoxical. I'm going to show you how. The part that's everything that I said in my opening statement, if anyone was listening, it's all falling on them. Like now, it's been falling on them. But the part that's very paradoxical is this. On one hand, you say that God creates good and evil.
Mm-hmm.
Human beings, so he creates the standard of good and evil, good and bad. Human beings chooses to act either good or bad, right? And then based off of their choice of choosing good or bad, that God judges. God judges for the good people, and then God places judgment on the bad people as well. Remember in my beginning opening, I'll actually read it real quick. I said, believing in God and the Bible, but not believing in free will is very nonsensical and paradoxical. This belief strips all accountability away from us. You get what I'm saying? So what I'm saying is every time you want to speak about judgment and God and stuff like that, you are appealing to the Bible, which in my definition, that is free will. So truthfully, what I think is maybe we're having a definition problem. That's what I think the debate is about. So real quick, let me just explain, because you explained your definition of free will. Let me explain. You explain your definition of not having free will.
Right.
Let me explain my definition of not having any free will then.
Okay.
So us not having any free will will look like the Matrix. It will look like, there's It's before Neo got unplugged. Everything was predetermined. It was hardly any of his choices or anything at all. Everything was predetermined, predestined already. Actually, even when you think about it, even when he got outside of the Matrix, the entire Matrix movie, Neo's path, even when he was unplugged, was still predetermined. So the Matrix movie sums it up all. We don't have any agency. We have the not having any free will. It's like we have the idea and a belief that we have free will, but we don't actually have any free will. So we're basically robots thinking that, the zeros and the ones, we control the zeros and the ones, but in reality, the computer programmed everything with the processes in it of the zeros and the ones of every action and reaction we take.
Well, what you're talking about now is what some people would call predestination, which we're not predestined either. Even in that movie, The Matrix, by the time you get to the second and third one, everything Neo did was against programming. And he actually controlled the programmer by the end of it. By the end of it, he went against everything and went and made a deal. And so he had a choice. He went against what you would call that, but even that's not free will.
No, because the Oracle already knew it, but not only just knew it, she actually did things to alter his choice. So she actually did things to influence his choice.
You're not saying free will. Like even when I looked up free will when we was first having a conversation, my definition
is free will is attached. Free will and choice is literally the same thing. So anytime I say choice, I'm saying free will.
No, I understand what you're saying. But when I look it up online, it says free will is the ability to make a choice and act independently without being controlled by external forces. That gets rid of free will in the Bible because there is an external force that controls our good and bad. God controls
not the doings of the good and the bad. That's the part that we're speaking about.
We are speaking about those parts, but even that, you're making a choice. But you go into that knowing that you cannot disobey or obey without consequence. And even consequence is judgment. Consequence.
That's free will. That's choice.
It's not free will.
Okay, I got you. So I'll do this.
Even by definition, no, real talk. Even by definition, when I read the definition, it says the ability to make a choice and act independently without being controlled by external forces. And we know that God is an external force outside of us that controls our good and bad. If we keep the commandments, we get good. If we break the commandments, we get evil. And God does the evil to us.
You missed a part of where we have. So you just read the definition, but let me add more context to everything. Perfect. So yeah, that's external forces. Remember in the beginning, I said we have internal forces, like of that would be of what is it? Predetermination, but we also are determined. We have self-determination. So self-determination will be something that's internal. So we also have external forces that's influencing us, that's putting on, that's influence us for our choices to be predetermined to an extent. But then we are conscious beings and physical human beings, and we have this biological makeup, which we have the ability to self-determine even when it's external things around us. You get what I'm saying?
What do you mean
so
by
for an example,
evil? What do you mean
self-determination. Self-determination. That's what I'm talking. So it's predetermination. So real quick, I'll explain. There's predetermination, things that are predetermined. Then there's self-determination. Self-determination can supersede predetermination. What I'm saying is how self-determination supersedes it is if your will, your desire, your will, these desires that you have is stronger and it supersedes what is predetermined, you will make a choice. So let's just explain it for the audience. If a person is influenced, I'll say this, I'll bring up my own example. I was born in the hood, projects,
right?
Section 8, Roy projects. You get what I'm saying? Ain't have much. All my brothers smoked, drank, and did stuff. had a brother that did 20 years in prison. We all got the stories where we living in the hood. It's pretty crazy. And I was predetermined to cuss, but I never cussed. I was predetermined to smoke weed and sell weed, but I never did it. I was predetermined to do many things from my circumstances and where I was born and all the influences that tried to penetrate me, but I wasn't susceptible to it. My desire to act in a way of my own self-determination superseded all of the influences.
Whoa. What's that? I just built a budgeting app in Base 44.
That we do have free will, that nothing is actually fate or predetermined, because we can, our self-determination can supersede any external forces.
So if you take what you just said, right?
Sure.
You didn't have free will. You looked at, well, the first thing I want to say is that predetermination wasn't by God. That predetermination was by your upbringing from family. Like you said, we all grew up like that. My father was a heroin addict, grew up in the gangs, not gangs, but grew up.
No one's saying that it wasn't about God. Like that wasn't about God.
No. Your predetermination wasn't by God. It was what you grew up in. Your family grew up like that, like all of our families did. And so now it's like, do you succumb to what your family is doing, or do you make a conscious choice to do the opposite?
Free will. And that's my definition of free will. So think about,
so what
you read when you read the definition off of the thing, right? It was external forces. If your internal forces supersedes these external forces, guess what? You have free will.
But you see how you mentioned how your brother did. You see how you mentioned how your brother did 20 years, right?
Yeah.
If you would have came out
a long time.
Okay, so if you would have came out and did the same thing as your brothers or as your family, God would have put evil on you, and you'd be in jail too. You would be.
That's consequences.
That's consequences, and judgment is the same thing. What I'm saying is that you want to superimpose your definition of free will when free will has a history, has a biblical history, it has a Greek history.
Wait, I thought you said that it doesn't have a biblical history.
What I mean, biblical is probably the wrong word. It has a Christian history. So free will.
Christianity is in the New Testament. It came about in the New Testament. So what?
Well, Christianity didn't come out in the New Testament. The term Christian is in the New Testament.
Is in a new, the term. Right. That's what I'm saying. It's in the New Testament. So
but Christianity is not. Christianity is not in the New Testament. The term Christian, which just means follower of Christ, is in there. And so
that's what I mean.
I know.
Yeah.
So Augustine, who was a Christian, developed free will to answer the question of why is all this evil happening. So your lifestyle, your life that you grew up in, you made a conscious choice, like you said.
Yeah, but isn't, you're saying that someone developed something without anyone developing anything in a concept. We all have lived experiences. So prior to these,
but what you knew, I just want.
Okay, go ahead. You can finish. Yeah, go ahead.
I appreciate it. So now, but I do agree. You make a choice, and you knew the evil that came with the choice of following in your family's footsteps, and the good that will come in not following in your family's footsteps. So that was not free will. That's not free will. That's just.
You don't think that is not free will?
No, that's a choice. Like,
okay, so once again, no, I'm not creating my own definition of free will.
Well,
no one
read the definition. You go against the definition.
No one went against the definition of free will. I'll actually bring it up and read it to you.
Okay.
Free will is the ability to make choices without being compelled by outside forces. So you make choices without this. What I don't even think you even reading it right.
I'm reading it perfectly.
Okay, I mean, you read it verbally. I'm gonna read it verbally too, and let's walk through it slowly because you're missing something. Listen,
outside. I'm sorry.
Listen, free will is the ability to make a choice without being compelled by outside forces. That is exactly what I explained. I explained by I wasn't compelled by outside forces, meaning that there were outside forces around in my neighborhood, my family, and everything else. But I wasn't compelled to make a choice based off of that. I was compelled to make a choice based off of something else. You just proved that you actually believe in free will. Booyah! What the heck?
Actually, when you look at that definition, remember the subject of this debate is: does God give us free will?
Yes,
we agree with that subject, right?
Yeah, but real quick, can you concede?
I'm coming right to the definition of what you just read.
I know, but can you concede to what I said and how I explained from the example that I gave actually means free will?
No, I cannot. I'm gonna show you why.
Okay, go ahead.
So because what you're giving, remember, I said earlier when you was talking about the evil, you was talking about evil that humans do. Well, when I was saying God does the evil, I'm talking about the evil that God does. And so there's a difference. So the definition says without being controlled by external forces. God is an external force. Agree? Yes or no?
No, the definition says free will is the ability to make choices without being compelled by outside forces. Compelled is influenced.
Compelled and controlled, I would say, is the same thing.
Okay, let's go out granted and say it's the same thing. Right. For sure. Go ahead.
Was God an external force? Yes or no?
Yeah.
Okay, then you can't apply free will to him then, because when this definition says you're not.
Wait, no one said that. We're saying that God gave us free will. We're not.
No, what are you? You're saying that God gave us free will, but the definition
real quick, you're switching things up real quick.
I'm not.
The topic of the discussion. No, this is gonna hurt. Right. The topic of the discussion is: does God give us free will?
Right.
So does God give us free will? God gave us the free will to literally make choices outside of the things that compel us.
Because if God says I'm gonna kill you, that is not a choice.
Wait, you mean to tell me that let's just bring it back real quick?
You know, an example of control.
No. Yeah. Let's bring it back real quick and speak about what we were speaking. Don't move the goalpost. Let's stay right here. Don't run. Stay right here.
You say don't run.
You real quick. Stop. Real quick.
No problem.
You just said free will. We read it off the definition on Google. Free will is the ability to make choices without being compelled by outside forces.
Well,
there are people that they are influenced by God and they still disobey God. Nigga, what do you mean? The sinners, they are literally, they're compelled by God. God is Adam and Eve, don't bite the apple from that tree. That's an outside force compelling them not to do it. And guess what? They still did it. Booyah. That's the definition of free will inside your own Bible, bro. I'm trying to tell you. You get obliterated right now.
You can always tell when a brother get hot. I've been a brother this whole time. Now I'm a nigga. I think it's funny. I just want to point it out. The first nigga, we've been
going back and forth. Nigga this, nigga that.
No, I'm just making. I don't mind it. So, what I'm gonna say is, when it's compelled by outside forces, even if you use that, the serpent is trying to counter what God said. God is the outside force telling Adam and Eve, you eat this, you eat all of these trees, you live. You break this, you die. And when they broke what he said, that same outside force brought evil on them and judged them and punished them. So it was not the definition of free will, because
that is the definition of free will. The
definition of free will is the ability to make choices independently. The choice that
who said independently?
When they was given that choice, was that choice from an external source or an internal source? When God told Adam and Eve, was that external or internal?
It's external. If it's not self-determined.
So if it's external, then they're not making that choice independently. They're making that choice because God said so.
Okay. So why did they disobey God?
We'll get to that in a second. I just want to hammer this point on. It's getting rough on you. It's getting rough.
No, it's getting rough on you, my dog. It's getting rough on you. I'm going to do a poll, too.
Yeah, do a poll. So
this is looking good for you. Go ahead. I'll let you land your plane.
Definitely. In Deuteronomy 30:16, when God says, I've set before thee life and death, that is an external force giving instructions to us. That is not something that we're doing independently. Before God gave them instructions, we was doing whatever we want. And then here comes an external force that comes to us and gives us instructions on to be good or be bad. And that same external force is controlling the external choice that he gave us. So you can't say that this external force is coming and that's free will. You can't. Because external makes it outside of your own independence.
Okay, got it. So, so what you're doing here, you're conflating before the fall and then after the fall. So before the fall of man, there wasn't any death. Once man chose to bite that apple, then, you actually die. You're going to die from causes of that's not your own, or you're going to die of just your regular body because you age and you get older and you die. So when we're speaking about the free will and everything on how you just tried to like move the goalposts and shift some, or really you didn't, it's still proven my point that we do have free will. You're just attaching consequences on free will, which there's no action without a reaction in this world that God created. So every action will have a reaction. So if you act this way, it's either going to be a good reaction or a bad reaction. You get what I'm saying? Therefore, you have a choice. You have the free will to make a choice to get a good action or to get a bad action. Me and you both agreed that God is, well, you disagree with objective morality, but we both agreed that God puts the standard for good and bad. God created the standard for good and bad.
I didn't object to that. I objected that God makes us sin. God doesn't make us sin. That's what I said no to.
Okay, totally fine. But the point that I'm making is, in your framework, in your belief, you're saying one thing, but then you're meaning another, which it's paradoxical and it's not really making any sense. But anyways, forget about all of that. I don't got to state.
I just want to say one more thing
real quick. I got a question for you.
Before you do the question, I just want to respond again on this definition. I just want to give a
what definition?
Well, we free will? Free will. Yes. I want everybody to just remember, free will is something that you do independently. If it comes from an external source, it's not
free will. Free will.
I don't know why you interrupted me, nigga. I don't know what's happening right now. I'm just trying to say.
Okay, bro. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Free will, by definition, is the ability to make choices and act independently. That's what the definition says. So it's not an independent source that's telling us what to do. It's an external source. It's God that's telling us what to do. So by the definition of the word free will, God took away your free will. God took away your freedom. You do not have the freedom to disobey God. You don't.
What?
You do not have the freedom to disobey God. You will be. Listen, when I go,
all the sinners. Listen, you going. For every action, there's a reaction. That's the consequences of
causing the punishment. Who's causing the punishment?
That's the consequences of this human existence, my friend.
Who's causing the punishment? Who's doing the punishment?
The person that chose to do the wrong thing will get punished.
No. Who's doing the punishment?
It doesn't matter about who's doing the punishment.
God is doing the punishment.
Okay. That strips all accountability away from the person. What does that doesn't even make any sense?
How does that?
That does. Listen to what you just said. Listen to what you just said. You just said out of one side of your mouth, well, if you are a sinner and if you do not obey God, right? If you don't obey God,
right,
you will feel consequences, right?
Yes.
If you do obey God, You will not feel those bad consequences. You will feel good consequences, right?
Yes.
Okay. With that, that means that someone
spending hours to remove glasses glare? No. Use Evoto AI to
definition real quick and bring it up. Free will is the free will is the ability to make a choice without being compelled by outside influences. There are people that don't believe in God, atheist people that don't believe in God, and they make the right choice, and they're not compelled to make a choice on God. Oh, I don't believe in a. They always said, I don't believe in a sky daddy. I don't believe in divine, all of this type of stuff, but I'm still going to do good.
No, because the scriptures say, what if some did not believe? Shall that unbelief make the word of God none effect? God forbid. So even an atheist not believing still gonna get punished by God. And that's
if what I'm saying, bro, that don't even make sense to what you're saying. If someone that doesn't believe in God, no, listen, we're speaking about free will. You're moving a goalpost. If someone that they're not, you're saying that, well, God is the outside force. That's what you keep saying. If someone is not compelled by that outside force and they still choose to do good, guess what? That's free will. If they choose to do bad, that's still free will. There's people that murder and do crazy bad things and they believe in God. There's people that murder and do crazy bad things and they don't believe in God, and vice versa. They do good that they don't believe in God, and some that do believe in God, they do good. So what I'm saying here, the part that you can't get out of, my friend, real quick, let's just explain it for the audience, is you can't get out of the definition of free will. It's paradoxical.
I killed you.
You didn't. No, you didn't. You didn't kill me at all on it. You are losing to it. Free will. How can I? It's very simple.
Right.
I can demonstrate free will, but you're having problems to demonstrate that there isn't any free will. The onus is on you to demonstrate how there isn't any free will by reading this definition. But
No
you
problem.
cannot.
I'm giving the answer.
Real quick, stop it. For the audience, let me speak. For the audience, if everyone's listening, I can demonstrate how there is free will. My friend over here cannot demonstrate how there isn't any free will. This entire conversation is proving free will by definition. But for him, he can't prove that we don't have free will by definition. He can't even prove it biblically that we don't have free will, because
First, let me say this. Cap basically I try to explain to Cooley that there's no such thing as free will in the Bible. See, Cooley's idea of free will is, all right, I get up out the bed and I can move my feet. That's free will. No, you understand? That's his idea of free will. I can decide to eat food or not eat food. That's not what Christians say free will is. You understand? Christians say free will is you being able to do whatever you want. But let me go to an example then, right? If you go to school and them have rules, you know what I mean? Them have a school rule that them tell you that you have to follow. Is there free will? There's no free will. It's either you follow the rules or you get kicked out of school. You understand? The Most High gave us rules, but because Christians want to break those rules, them say you have free will. You don't have free will. You might have the ability to break the rules, but later on down the line, you're going to get punished. That's how it is. It's not free will. Unless you are saying my ability to pick up this phone with my hand is free will. And then you're just talking nonsense now. You understand?
Every scripture in the Bible appeals to this definition of free will.
Okay.
I'll say it again for the audience. For the audience that's back there listening. Every scripture that he reads appeals to this definition of free will, which explains in the Bible we have free will. Why would God judge you on sinning if you can't act outside of not sinning?
So you see the point of me I make? His idea of free will is I can move my eye up and down if I feel like. The Most High say, if you do this, you're going to get punished. That's not free will. That's not free will. It's do what I say or get punished. The Most High literally is giving you an order. You understand? So he's saying, I have free will because I am able to disobey the Most High. Yeah, you can disobey the Most High. That's a choice, but it's not free will. You understand?
I'll say it again.
You asking me a
Why
question?
No, I'm just speaking to the audience too, so they can understand where this conversation is going. How can God say, hey, I don't want you to sin. I don't want you to sin at all, but then I'm going to judge you on...
Somebody saying in the comments, your freedom to break the school rule is free will. Nobody gave you the freedom to do it. You took it upon yourself to break the school rule. That's what you did. So the school rules say don't wear tight pants to school, right? Don't bleach your skin. You did that. The school did not give you the free will to do it. You did that. That is not free will. So what Captain Tazaryach is saying is the Most High did not give you free will. The school did not give you free will. You understand it? The debate is about, did the Most High give you free will? And the answer is no. Christians created this whole concept of free will that is not in the Bible. It's not in there anywhere. So the school did not say you have a choice. You can wear your tight pants. No, the school didn't present it like that. The school said, do not wear tight pants or we're going to kick you out of the school. It's the same thing with the Most High law. The Most High said, do not be an LGBT or you're going to get punished. That's rules, not free will. You understand? Christianity has destroyed the minds of not only our people, but the entire earth.
On sinning. That's totally fine. That's totally fine. That means he's making that judgment. But every time he appeals to this definition of free will, it includes it into every scripture, meaning that God always wants you to obey him. He always wants you to obey him regardless of the things that appeal you. If it's internal flesh food desires that's appealing you to disobey him, if it's external flesh food desires that's appealing you to disobey him, he still wants you to obey him. Good things will happen. If you don't obey him, bad things are happening. So everything still appeals to the definition of free will is the ability to make choices without being compelled by outside forces.
When you compel somebody about death, that's not a choice.
Wait, what? How isn't that a choice? If you got a gun to your head,
wait.
If a gunman comes up,
wait. I said it wrong. When you
you're about to get smacked on that.
When you compel somebody to death, that's not free will. There's nothing that you said tonight that exemplifies free will. And then you.
All right. So that way you said that statement is excellent statement. The concept of free will also exists outside of religion, as in your school analogy. All right. Free will is not a concept of the Bible. It exists outside of the Bible. And it exists. Christianity is what created this. And of course, it exists outside of religion. But the Bible itself don't know what the hell none of that is talking about. The Bible is something completely different from free will, Christianity, religion. You understand? That's my point. But you're right. The concept of free will, it do exist outside of religion and it exists within religion. It does not exist in the Bible. You understand?
Okay, so let me ask you a question. If a gunman, if someone has a gun to your head, real quick, let's just stop it here. Let's do it point by point. Right. If someone has a gun to your head, and they say, "Hey, give me all of your money, or I'm going to kill you."
Right.
So you're saying that you have. So you're saying that you have no choice but to just give them all of your money.
No, I did not say.
Okay. So what do you have?
You don't have the freedom.
You don't have the freedom.
You don't have the freedom to say no to him.
To death. No, you don't have the freedom to say no to him?
No, because if you say no, you die. If it's free, remember the definition you said. The definition
You're limited. Your thinking is limited. If someone has a gun to my head, I'm gonna act. I could do a multitude of things. I could fight the man to defend myself by saying no. I could physically say no and leave it all up to him to choose, for him to make the choice to kill me or not. Or I could defend or I could stay complacent and not choose anything.
Is that an external source that's compelling your decision?
If someone has a gun to your head.
Let me ask the question again.
Okay, go ahead. Ask the question.
Is that an external source that's compelling your decision? Yes or no?
The gun to my head.
Is that an external source? Yes or no? That's compelling your decision? Yes or no?
Only if I appeal to it. Yeah.
Then that's not free will, because the definition of free will is what you do independently. If there's something external,
if I appeal to it, you just got obliterated here. If I don't appeal to it, it's free will.
Oh my God! Listen,
what's going on with you?
Listen.
So you see how Cap are destroyed by the definition now. So free will only exists when there's no external force involved. For example, every living thing have the right to breathe oxygen. You breathe that freely. You understand? There's no rules that, hey, you better breathe oxygen or you better not breathe oxygen. There's no rules. See? Now, where the rules come in is, can a man sleep with another man? You understand? The rules come in, can you sleep with another man, woman? You understand? The external force now give you rules. So you getting up out of the bed and walking to the door. Yeah, you have free will to do that. Because no external force says you shouldn't or you should not. You understand? But the external force would be, for example, the school principal that writes the rule that said you cannot wear tight pants to school. Or the man with the gun to your head that says, give me your money or else. There's no free will there now. You have to cooperate. You understand? All right.
Wait, hold on, nigga.
You have a choice to not appeal to it.
We're not talking about choice right now.
We're talking about free will, and that is choice.
We're talking about free will and the definition of free will.
Explain to me the definition of free will without choice.
The definition of free will said what you do independently of something external.
That is choice.
Wait. The example that you gave.
I'll let you speak. Go ahead.
Don't sweat. The example that you gave is an external source that's controlling what decision you make. I don't know how you think I'm getting cooked.
I'm actually just educate you now, because it ain't even. Forget me doing the punchlines and going back and forth.
I just want to respond to something that you said earlier. You said that I have not demonstrated.
No. Let's not move the goalpost. Let's keep it here.
Ain't gonna take no more 10 seconds.
Okay, because we're still talking about the gunman.
Right. I did give examples of the evil when I brought out how the homosexuals die. If I was to go with the children of Israel, our punishment is the Lord's evil. So now with the gunman, I just want to put that on record. So now with the gunman.
Okay.
So let's say you and I, we chilling, we hanging out, we out at the studio, we come out.
Jamed's international power. Yeah, prove my point. No external force compelled him that he just chose to breathe, carbon dioxide on his own. You know what I mean? There's no external force saying to him, hey, you better breathe the oxygen. He just decides, say, I'm going to go in and garage and breathe carbon dioxide for some reason. Or breathe carbon monoxide. You understand? But where the external force in this reasoning is God, right? Is there a law against breathing carbon dioxide or carbon monoxide in the Bible? No. There's no law against him. Him decide if he want to commit suicide, him do that. You understand? But there's a law against you sleeping with another man's wife. There's a law against you smoking weed. You understand? No, there's no free will. Free will is almost like, all right, the scripture says, where there's no law, there's no sin. Free will only exists outside of what the Most High says. So the point, the whole argument of this debate is God never give nobody no free will. And Captain Tazaryach is absolutely winning. You understand? Because no Cooley can say God gave nobody free will. Yeah, you're definitely not going to find it in the Bible. You understand?
Side. A robber comes. 2 robbers come because it's 2 of us. They put a gun to both of our head and tell us we got to give up this fly-ass chain I got. You got to give up your fly things. Now, we have a choice.
We have to give it up.
No. We don't have to. But we know if we don't give it up, there's a consequence that come with it.
Yeah, have to give it up or death.
Right. But that's not free will because Cooley is not doing nothing, and neither is Tazaryach doing anything of their own free will. Tazaryach and Cooley is not independently giving my chain up. Cooley is not independently giving his stuff up. We are externally making a choice based on what an outside source is trying to influence us to do. That's how you know it's not free will based on the definition.
I don't think you understand the reasoning, you know. Jamed's international power. Just listen to what I say. The argument is, this is the topic of the argument. Did God give you free will? Meaning, did God give you free will to do as you please concerning his laws? The reasoning that we are reasoning with don't have nothing to do with God. You understand? We are talking about the laws of God, where, you know what I mean? So basically, did God give you free will to disobey him? Me and you having this conversation is neither obeying or disobeying God. God don't care about the conversation what we're having. But if I should analyze you now me I disobey God, I don't have the free will to do that. So you understand what you say, but it's outside of the context of what this whole thing is. This thing is, did God give us free will? And the answer is no. Free will don't exist with God. Free will is a man-made concept. You understand? It's a man-made concept. So what we are reasoning is, we don't have free will because we have to obey the Most High or else. You understand? So this whole free will thing now, it's just a Christian ploy to get people to disobey God. To make you feel like it's okay if you disobey God or there's no consequences. When there is, you disobey the Most High, you are going to get punished. You understand?
Body bag.
Okay, here we go. Now let's just refute this all. This is gonna be easily refuted.
You have been body bagged by Captain Tazaryach.
Sound effect. Come on, man. Why your sound effect that long, bro? Yo, it's funny because this gonna be defeated so easily. And I'm gonna just look in the camera for this one. Chat, listen to his example of how he tried to explain that we do not have free will. And by definition, well, I'm going to look at the computer too, because since I'm got to read the definition back and forth.
Right.
By using free will. Free will is the ability to make choices without being compelled by outside forces. He says that the gunman, we in the studio, and we all walk outside, and the gunman points a gun to us, to our heads, and he says, give me everything you got or you will die. So he says that, well, the gunman is the outside force.
That's right.
And the gunman is compelling us to make the choice of giving him the money, giving our money to him. But guess what, Chad? It's very simple. Because you do not have to give the gunman your money at all. You can fight back. So I'll say this.
I never said
someone's.
I think Cooley, sometimes you have people who are too intelligent for them own good. So intelligent that they can't understand simple things. You know what I mean? The outside force is what determines whether you have free will or not. You know what I mean? So if somebody has forced you to make a decision, you don't have free will. The Most High in the Bible has forced you to make a decision. Him say, keep my laws or else. When you jump to Deuteronomy, as a matter of fact, at the end of this video, I'm going to jump to Deuteronomy and show you what the Most High actually gave. This is the pinnacle of what the Most High gave. Deuteronomy 28. See? That's the external force that is compelling you to make one decision over another. So you don't have a free will. You're being pressured to make a decision. You understand? Now, if there's nobody compelling you to do nothing, you have, by human explanation of what free will is, you have, all right, you don't have free will to not go to work, right? Because if you don't go to work, you'll get fired. But if you own your own business, you know what I mean? And you know what I mean, you have money in your pocket for days. Yeah, you have free wills. You know, you have to wake up and open your store today. Because a year store, you own it and you're done rich already. You understand? You have money in your pocket already. So you don't need that is what their definition of free will is. But you have the Most High over your head with a belt saying, look, keep my laws or else you don't have free will. You understand? So Cooley, him talk and him sound intelligent, but I think some people too intelligent for them own good. So intelligent, them can't understand simple things.
Will, real quick, someone's free will can definitely compel someone else's free will as far as it's the strongest survive. So if he points a gun to my head and makes a statement, and I could be like, no, nigga, and pull out a gun and blast him myself or defend myself. So it's force against force. You get what I'm saying? So if the outside force is stronger than the force that you can push back on his force, then guess what? That is you making a choice without being compelled by his outside force.
No, they weren't exercising them free will because the Most High told them to give the best. They were just they made the choice to disobey the Most High when they did not have that option. The Most High option was give me the best. The Most High is the external force. Remember the definition of free will, you know. Remember, free will is a man-made concept. It's not in the Bible. But their definition is you being able to make a choice without being compelled by an external force, right? Everybody can make whatever choice. But once an external force is compelling you, there's no free will. The Most High is the external force that is saying, give me your best animal. There was never free will. They just disobeyed the Most High. And in most cases, if you read the Bible, the Most High punish us. You know what I mean? Whenever this happened, the Most High punish us. So there was no free will. You know what I mean? Free will would have been if the Most High said, just give me whatever you want, give me. You understand?
I'll repeat again. His outside force of the gunman. You actually have many choices in this situation because once again, the definition of free will is without choice. But in this scenario, you have choice. You have choice. You have choice to defend yourself. You have choice to not do
disingenuous now. Him himself read the definition, you know. The definition never says choice. The definition says choice without being compelled. So him lose the debate now, you know. So now he work on the brain of people who can't think that deep. But Captain Tazaryach got to remind him, so look here, man, remember the definition never say choice. It's a choice without being compelled by an external force. So everybody have choice. Your definition of free will and everybody's definition of free will is not being compelled by an external force. So you see, you can see the panic in his face. You can see him know him lose. You know what I mean? Everything I go terrible wrong for him right now. You know what I mean? And I just say it go. You know what I mean?
Nothing at all. So you don't even got to give the money to the guy. You don't have to give anything to him. So within this, let's see how many choices we have. We have the one choice to submit to the gunman and give him everything we have. We have another choice to not do anything and just stand there and look at the nigga like, yeah, nigga, whatever. You have another choice to defend yourself and fight back. You have another choice to run away. So within this, this just defeated everything he just said. He thought he was spitting, but he wasn't spitting. You just literally explained free will.
Okay.
You literally explained it.
Can I respond now? Thank you.
This is the body bag session.
I actually have a question for you. Because remember, you wanted to reply back to and you brought up the scenario, but I have a question for you because I've been defending free will. And actually, guess what?
We've both been going back and forth.
Guess what? You actually you've been defending free will too, and you don't even know it.
That's cap.
You've actually been on my side defending free will.
I guarantee if you put a poll,
if scriptures in the Bible defended free will, everything you've been saying been defending free will.
Okay,
that's what I'm trying to. Even when you appeal to the Bible, you're appealing to free will. So real quick, here's a question for you, bro. Before I let you go, you know what I mean?
Yep.
So you have to defend free will. Actually, you have to defend the opposite of this definition. Free will is the ability to make choices without being compelled outside of forces. Without being compelled by outside forces. So that means that you have to defend a situation where, because that gun story you made, you totally bad on that.
You got the gun
You bring up some example or give some type of analogy where you can defend free will, where you cannot make any choices outside forces. Give me an example or explain to me how you can't make a choice outside of outside forces. Go ahead.
Wait. I don't want to answer yet. When you say give an example, and I can make a choice without outside forces, I don't know what you.
Real quick, I'll just say it again.
Yeah, explain it in a different way.
Yeah, I'll explain it in a different way. Free will is the ability to make choices without being compelled by outside forces.
Okay.
So give me an example where free will, give me an example to claim that we don't have free will, where you cannot, right? You cannot make choices outside. You cannot make choices compelled by outside forces. All the examples that I gave and how I defended free will, I gave examples and explained how we can make choices without being compelled by outside. But I need you to explain how we can't.
We went viral, and everyone thought we're 100% company, but we're 20. No.
I'm gonna give an example before I answer, just to see if I'm talking about talk about the same thing.
Jamed's international.
No, I want to give this example to see if it's talking about. I got up right now, my office is in the back where I make my butters. I have the free will after this live stream to get up and go make them butters, or I could not. And then there's no outside force that controls that. Is that what you're saying?
Oh, well, I'm sorry. Say that one more time for me.
No problem. So my business is right on the other side of my house, right?
Yeah.
So after this live stream is over, I can get up freely and go make those butters that I have to make for my business, or I could choose not to, and there's no outside force that controls that. Is that what you're asking me?
No. I'm not asking you that, because it has to be something that compels you to. So meaning that, so I'll say it this way. Let's say if you have let's use the same, you have the ability to walk over and get some coffee. That's what you said, right?
I said make some butters. Yep.
Oh, make some butter. This nigga said butter.
Nah, wait. Hold on. You see this shit right now? Nigga, don't
You be making butter?
Yeah.
All right, fair enough, nigga. All right, my bad.
Wait, this is a little promo. So I sell. Wait, let me promo so they don't know what I'm talking about. So I sell. Yeah. Let me do my promo, man. So if you go to cargas.com, I sell body butters right there. The fly
body butter.
Yeah, body butter. So use the body butter, put it on your body lotion. I make
like cream and stuff.
Yeah. I make
That's dope, man. Shout out to you.
make sprays. I make beard oil. Listen, I got some hair crack. Got no with me, but I got some hair crack that'll have your hair growing right, beard shining, the whole night. I got the whole.
Look, I see how you trying to obfuscate off of defending.
Nah, you try to make fun of my butters. I want people to know what the butters is. That's
this guy. All right, man. Let's
right,
this is what I mean, right?
Ahead.
So using your example of you can walk down to the office to get free make the butter,
right,
or you can choose not to. That isn't an example of free will. Free will is if someone if you were influenced, it was an outside force that was compelling you, right? Compelling you.
Wait, you said that's not an example of free will? There's no consequence.
Hey, this brother is very disingenuous. Cooley. Let me read the definition of free will. Free will is the power of humans to make choices, right? But not just make choices and act without being forced by outside control. So it's not just your ability to make a choice. It's make a choice without outside control. So once the outside control is taken away, now you have free will. But here what he's trying to do now. He's saying, well, Cap, you going to make your body butter, you know what I mean, is not free will because there's no external force. That's literally the definition of free will when there's not an external force. So he's twisting, he's disingenuous, Look upon him a scratchy man. He know what am I doing, I'm disingenuous, me I tell you.
There's no outside force controlling you. That is free will.
Right, exactly.
That isn't an example of the definition of free will. What we're reading
says do anything independently without being compelled from an outside force. So I'm not compelled by an outside force. I'm independently can end this live stream when we get done and independently go make them butters or not make them butters.
Right.
That is free will. I just answered.
Yeah. But I get you. Yeah, that's what I'm. That's not. That's not the question that I'm asking you. Because remember, we're trying to clarify what I was asking you.
Right. Exactly.
Yes, that is free will because you are free to do what you want in that situation.
You know what I'm going to tell you? Wait, before you go, I just want to say one thing. When you brought up them butters, though, you as an outside force took away my free will and compelled me to promote them butters. So now that's an example of your outside ass coming in telling me, making me promote the butters. You influenced and took away my free will.
So I took away your free will. But the question is, you could have chose not to do it.
Right. I could have chosen not to do it.
There we go.
Right, but that's not. But once
so that's the perfect example. Let me finish real quick so I can speak because I let you go because to make it so you can understand where I'm coming from because I think that you're viewing things incorrectly here or we're just viewing it differently. So yeah, what you said was if you could go walk down to your office and you can get some butter, or you could choose not to do it. You having the ability to choose or not to choose, that's free will. Yeah, that is free will. But then the other thing is like the example you just used, you just said, well, Cooley, you actually compelled me. You are the one that compelled, you are an outside force that compelled me to actually promote my butter. What you did was that wasn't part of the scenario. I didn't compel you to actually go and make the butter. So let's not confuse the audience. That wasn't happening. You talking about you went to promoting the butter. No, that wasn't the same example. You chose to promote it.
You compelled me to do something.
You actually, if we're being clear here, you actually operated them free will because within this, I could have compelled you to do exactly what you said, which to get up and go over there and make the butter. But instead, you wasn't wasn't compelled. You chose this to promote the butter. So you did the opposite of what you just said. Booyah.
No,
you have free will. You actually just proven there with your own example that you have free will.
Well, I never said, so I when I first started that scenario, I said that's an example.
Cooking, bro.
No, I'm cooking you
session.
because I'm the one that said it was free will
I'm
from
about
the
to make
gate.
me some butter.
You can't make it as good as me. Yours ain't gonna be as good as mine, though. Yours
I don't think we got free will, nigga. Actually, I agree with you because I'm about to make some butter. Look,
man,
you just compelled me. No, I'm playing with you.
Nah, no sweat. But when I first gave the example, I gave a clean example of free will because that was my independent thought. It was no outside influence that altered or did anything to me. When I said you was an outside influence, free will, the external source is not about doing or not doing what you set out to do. It's about an external force that
compelling you to do something what you already had was sought out to do.
No, that's not what the definition says. The definition doesn't
what
say
you're talking
that.
about.
The definition
does say an outside.
It doesn't say compelling you to do what you was gonna do. It just says independently without being controlled by external forces.
Yeah. So with
when
that
you
being
brought that
said,
new concept, you controlled that I grabbed my butter.
No, that wasn't a new concept.
That was a new concept because even you tried to say no.
Listen,
you was gonna
you
do the
already
butter.
have
You
your
did
butter there
something
because this was a plan. What are you talking about? You got your butter right next to you because you're like, you know what? I'm selling the butters, the oils. You got everything.
This is my championship belt right here. I put this here.
All right, man. So listen. Let's get back to the debate. Let's get back.
Belt. This is about the debate. This is my belt because I'm winning.
You taking many L's.
This belt right there.
You taking many L's. And look, before we do this, actually, because I got a lot of questions for you to catch you in many contradictions. You already been contradicting yourself, but fair enough. Before we do that, everybody on Facebook, come on over to YouTube. I'm going to go ahead and close down a Facebook stream now. I was supposed to close it out like 45 minutes ago. But come on over to YouTube right now. We are live. No Fugaazy podcast. Homie been getting cooked all night long. And we're going to continue to keep on cooking. Keep on cooking. 1 second here. Let me close this out.
Okay.
All right, cool. So went ahead and closed that out. Now, everyone that's currently in here, I need you to do something. Don't be a ninja watcher. I need you to do one thing for me and get the likes up, subscribe to the YouTube channel, click that bell icon too. We pushing out some good content for y'all, man.
Definitely. I think I'm gonna end my Facebook.
Do that for me now. We got a lot of people in here. Do that for me now. Okay, cool. So we still speaking about free will. Now, I'm just going to sum it up real quick in regards to that last conversation to what we just had and clarify a few things when we were speaking about free will and you gave that example. And then I have some questions for you. You can ask me any questions too. Only got like 2 questions for you.
Okay, no problem. That's cool.
So in regards to the situation about him going to get the butter, what he tried to do was very, very nice, but it just didn't work. He spoke about the butter, and then he spoke about going to get the butter. He explained, yeah, I could go and get the butter, or I could not get the butter. That's free will. That's totally fine. I said, yeah, that would be you having the ability to make the choice to do something or to not to do something. Free will. So even he, remember, during this podcast, he was trying to separate free will and choice. But currently now he can't even separate free will from choice. He's always still attaching choice to free will. Always attaching choice to free will. I told you, it's paradoxical for him to do it. You can't do it. In his worldview. Now, if I was debating an atheist, let me bring you back up here, my bad. If I was debating an atheist, that would be something totally different. Well, guess what? Their beliefs is they don't get their epistemology from biblical scriptures. They don't get their knowledge from biblical scriptures. But he does get his knowledge from biblical scriptures. And biblical scriptures has a moral moral backing of good and bad and consequences for the good and bad. So this entire principle that the biblical scripture operates under is free will, meaning that, well, why would God judge you if you don't have free will? Well, I'm not going to judge you. Nothing evil is going to happen. you don't have any free will. You get what I'm saying? Like you're actually being compelled by outside influences, and you can't reject it. You can't reject the outside influences. You're always being compelled, and everything that you're being compelled on the outside influences, you have no control over it. Zero control. We just explained it here with many examples. He is even proving my point that within the examples, even when you're compelled by outside forces, you actually can choose not to do what you're compelled by. With the gun analogy, with the walk into the butter analogy, with all of it. So here's a question for you. I just wanted to sum that up. Yeah. So a question for you real quick. So if we do not have free will, and which is the ability to make choice, which you conceded to, because that's how you've been operating under that framework the entire time. Where do we get meaning from?
What type of meaning? The meaning of life?
Meaning of anything, like, you know, the meaning of love, the meaning of like why go to work. Like some people go to work for meaning. So like we have a whole value system. So where do we get meaning from, and why did we create a value system where we value things based off of it being lower value or higher value, or good or bad, and all of these things we derive meaning from?
Well, we didn't derive anything, because in this life, thank you. Because in this life, gays can get married, men can change their sex, women can change their sex. Just today, there was an article came out where they denied Frederick Douglass from being celebrated, even though he was celebrated every year since his death. But meanwhile, they have a President's Day. So our meaning is.
You don't think some people get meaning from that? You don't think
meaning from what? Frederick Douglass?
Meaning from all of the things you said, including Frederick Douglass, including the gays and all of that. You don't think they get any meaning from things?
No, they could get meaning from that, but this is about God. God hates them gays. God hates Frederick Douglass not getting the honor that the white man gets as they have President's Day. God hates that. So when you talk about the meaning, if we're talking about God, this is Ecclesiastes 13 rather. It says, let us hear the conclusion of the matter. Fear God. It don't say love him. It says, fear God and keep his commandments, for this is the whole duty of man.
Okay, real quick, my thing is, I'm saying that people do get meaning out of doing degenerate things. You would have to disprove that. People get meaning out of, being homosexual. People get meaning out of flesh food desires all the time, man. Like, what do you think that's enticing them to dive into those desires? Yes, it's hedonism. That's what it is, but they do get meaning out of it. If they didn't get any meaning out of it, which is pleasure and stuff, then they wouldn't actually do it. So void of free will, my question is, which I'm just having a hard time answering, my question is, void of free will. If we don't have any free will, where do we get meaning from? And why do we have these value systems which even give us meaning?
The reason I answered the question. We get our meaning from our obedience to God.
No, but there's people that don't obey God and they still get meaning out of their flesh food desires.
And they die.
Totally fine. They still got meaning out of it.
You listen, now what you're fighting me on right now is that we have to obey God. Because I'm
not fighting you on that.
The meaning of life is to obey God. That's the meaning. What you're bringing up is
some people's meaning is not to obey God, though.
I'm about to address that. So
address that part.
Right. So you bring up that there's some people that don't obey God, and so they get meaning by doing the things that they do for themselves, and God kills them. Romans, that's why I read Romans.
They feel consequences. God kills people that even do their meaning.
Let me finish answering. Romans 3.
There's people that get killed in storms. There's people that get killed by Mother Nature that does God's meaning.
Mother Nature. That is not Mother Nature.
All the time from doing God's meaning. People die all the time when they don't do God's meaning.
You got to give it credit to who it belongs to. Romans 3 says, "But what if some did not believe? shall their unbelief make the faith of God without effect. You know what the faith of God without effect is? That he's still going to punish you even if you don't believe in him. Even if you don't believe in him, there's still floods coming, hurricanes coming.
That's just moving the goalposts off the topic what we're speaking about.
No, it's not, because you said, what's the meaning? You said, what's the meaning? I said, fear God, keep the commandments. You said, what about those that don't fear God? So now I'm answering your question. Even if they don't believe in God and think that they're getting in meaning, they're going to die. God's going to punish them. Even the Bible says that Christ has the keys to hell and death. So Christ is the one that gives you hell or give you death.
Yeah, that's totally fine. No one. That's not the argument. No,
what I'm saying is,
listen. I already know that. I think you're misinterpreting my question. Like, you're not actually giving me an answer. So
I am giving you an answer.
No, that isn't the answer. Like, these are things that, I mean, that's fine. These are things that proves free will. I want you to disprove free will. Yeah, it does prove free will, because if you do X, Y, Z and don't obey God, you're going to get consequences. If you do X, Y, Z and do obey God, you still get consequences. So there's still consequences attached to any action you make. The argument is in consequences. We know that there's good consequences and there's bad consequences. The point that I'm making is that someone is still free to make their choice, and they're going to feel either bad things or good things. Then there's people that actually live a normal, great life and they obey God and they still feel bad consequences. So think about babies and stuff.
Right. They're not obeying God.
That doesn't make any sense. You think about babies that come out with disabilities.
God punished them babies.
Okay. That is totally fine. That's not the point, though. The point that I'm making,
one second. God
the point that I'm making is still consequences for things.
God said that he visited the iniquities of the fathers to the third and fourth generation.
Yeah, bro. Okay, answer the question. I'll just repeat it back real quick, because you're moving a goalpost so much.
I'm answering the question.
If you don't have free will, and guess what? You couldn't demonstrate how you don't have free will without having choice. So which means that free will includes choice. Demonstrate it then.
No.
You never demonstrated it.
I'm demonstrating it. The question that you're asking me.
No, time out real quick. Don't even answer the question. Then let's go back to you demonstrating how we don't how free will isn't tied to choice.
I'm responding.
Go ahead.
The definition of free will requires it to not be an external source that's controlling your free decision. The question that you're asking comes from an external source that's controlling your decision.
No one says require. You're making the definition incorrect. No one says require. Requirement is not even a requirement in anything.
Source.
Stop it. There's no requirement in the definition of free will. Stop it. There's no requirement.
Is God an external source?
Stop it. There's no requirement of
God an external source.
You didn't answer any of my questions, and I'm questioning you. You're saying is God an external force? No. Don't move the goalposts. Let's go back to what we're speaking about. No, you're not. No, you're not.
Okay, so I'll answer without asking your question. I'll answer without asking your question.
Okay, no. Let me ask the question again, because I don't think you even know it. You're like moving off. It's very simple. The first question, I'm going to say it again, but I don't want you to answer it. I want you to answer the second question. But the first question is, if we don't have free will, where do we get meaning from? Then I'm telling you have not explained or demonstrated how free will is not attached to choice. You have not demonstrated or explained how free will is not attached to choice. Everything that you do is demonstrating how free will appeals to choice. It is attached to choice. So I want you now, before you even answer the main question, demonstrate how free will isn't attached to choice.
I never said that free will is not attached to choice.
Oh, man. Yeah, you did. Now we got to rewind the tape back, bro.
No, I just want to say, like, if I could speak uninterrupted, I just let you ramble like that.
Bro.
Turn it up loud.
Because
now you lying, man.
What I said was, the subject is, does God give us free will? I even gave an example of how I can freely make a choice of making my butters or not. But if God said, don't be a homosexual, God is not telling you to be a homosexual. God did not create homosexuals, but God is going to destroy homosexuals. So
that's just consequence. You're still not explaining.
You asked about the meaning. The answer that I gave was from God because the subject is about God. The debate is about God. So I gave two sides of the coin. The first thing I said was God said to fear him and keep the commandments. That's the whole duty of life. So according to God, that's our meaning. That's our purpose. And then you said, what about people that don't believe in God and get a meaning of life of being a homosexual, living like this, living many different ways that don't believe God? I answered you directly by saying the Bible says, what if some don't believe? Shall that make the faith of God none effect? When you're
appealing to consequences.
Let me answer.
Bro, you're appealing to consequence. That isn't the question. The question isn't consequences. The question is, void of free will, where do you get meaning from?
You're interrupting in the answer. Because for me, if you live outside of God, if we're talking about God and you live outside of God, there is no meaning of life outside of God. And for somebody that lives outside of God, verse 5 says, if our unrighteousness commends the righteousness of God, God gonna punish you even if you don't believe in him. So the only choice we have is to fear God, live according to him. That is the purpose of mankind.
Totally fine. Now explain to me, totally fine. Explain to me, and please demonstrate it, how someone that disobeys God does not get meaning out of them disobeying God. The statement would be, I'll go ahead and answer, why would they even disobey God if they didn't get any meaning out of disobeying God? They do get meaning out of it. Listen, bro, you cannot, here's what's happening here real quick. You cannot explain free will.
I explained it. The reason why you switching to meaning is because I've explained free will. I answered the question.
No,
I answered it on both sides. I answered.
I got it. So let me just explain what's happening here.
Wait 1 second.
Let me explain the confusion.
No. You do all the explaining. I answered the meaning of life, and then I answered those that don't believe in that meaning of life.
But you're making an assertion that they don't. You're making an assertion that they do not get any meaning.
God said, Amos. Well, I was talking. You interrupted me. I was the one talking.
I think what's happening here, real quick, Cap.
No, but you're trying to stop me. I'm talking. You gotta let me finish.
I got it real quick. I do understand what's happening here. You're switching the meanings of words and stuff like that. You gotta let me
finish though. Amos 3:6. God said, "Shall they be evil in a city, and God have not done it?" So when you see the punishment,
got it. Land your plane. Make it concise, man.
If you stop interrupting me, I could have landed it.
I mean, I'll let you rock.
Said in Amos 3. No, you have not. In Amos 3:6, God said, "Shall there be evil in the city, and God have not done it?" So when you see the judgment in these cities, and you see the punishments in these cities, God did it. So even those that want to live a life of a drug dealer, go to jail, become drug addicts, get strung out, and then generationally that happens to us because we're seeking our purpose of life. Whereas you are an example of seeing your family living their purpose of life, and you chose to live the opposite purpose of life.
That proves free will.
That is not free will.
Everything that you
went down that same road, the same things would have happened to you. Just like if I went down the same road of my father, the same thing would have happened to me.
I made a choice. Once again, you just admitted here. You just admitted we can't. You just lost the debate, bro. You just admitted. That's what I wanted you to do, real quick. I'll let you get it out. You've already admitted that you cannot detach free will from choice. You just admitted that you cannot do that.
I did not,
bro. Now you're being very dishonest, Cap.
No, I'm not. You just twisting the way that I said it.
First, in the beginning of the podcast, Cap, you said that no, free will and choice is different meanings. Free will,
different meanings. That's correct.
You said there's different meanings,
right?
In the beginning of the podcast, right. Then literally just 5 minutes ago, we can rewind the tape. Matter of fact, I'll rewind it for you and show you because I do this live on people all the time. I'm a great listener and I have amazing active listening skills. I'm gonna rewind it live on the podcast so you can see. The audience already sees it, but so you can see. I'm going to play it. I'm going to play real quick. Got it. I'm going to mute both of us real quick and bring it up.
Okay.
Get the likes up real quick, though. Okay. I'm bringing it up, and we're gonna rewind it, and we're gonna play because you literally just said it.
Let's play the whole thing.
And actually, anyone in the chat, if you can give me a timestamp of when he said he never said that free will is detached from choice.
Yes, it is.
If you can bring me that timestamp, that'll help even perfect because I know we got some people in here watching right now, but I'm gonna go ahead and try to find it.
Detached from choice. I never used that term.
Scam Chan, I see you in here. We do it live, brother.
Yeah, I didn't say that. Can you hear me or no? I don't know because you got me on the bottom. I don't know if you can hear me. Hey, y'all. When I say, if I could come to myself real fast. Hold on 1 second. Let me see. Let me come here. Let me put myself on the screen right now. Let me put me on the screen.
Ooh, I just found it.
Okay.
Just found it. Okay. Let me bring it back a little bit right there. And let me share my screen. I'm going to unmute you, Cap. You unmuted now.
I appreciate it.
Going to share my screen.
Remember, he said that I said that free will is detached. I did not say that. But go ahead and play it. Why I gotta
no. Now you're just lying. You just the point that
Why I gotta be little? Why I gotta be little?
No. The point that we're saying here, you like a. I don't want to make any habitums. I don't do that. I like you, but listen, man, don't do that, man. You literally just said, don't gaslight. You literally just said that free will and choice is in the beginning. You said is detached.
Why do you? Because the Bible said, prove all things. You understand? That's what the Bible said. It's not like the Christian church that wants you to never question God and never ask questions. See? The Bible says, prove all things. So it's in our culture to prove all things. That's why men have debates to prove who's right and who's wrong. If we don't have debates, then we'll never know who's right and who's wrong. You understand?
Free will and choice is not attached together. Then just a few minutes ago, you said that, well, no, I said, try to prove how free will and choice is detached. You can't do it. And then you said, well, I never said that free will and choice is detached. They are attached.
No. What I said
I'm going to play it right now. Let's not speak. Let me just play it. I found it. Hold up. Let me share my screen. All right. I'm going to go ahead and mute you. So not this picking up in the background. Put it right here. And here we go. Say it again, but I don't want you to answer it. I want you to answer the second question. But the first question is, if we don't have free will, where do we get meaning from? Then I'm telling you, you have not explained or demonstrated how free will is not attached to choice. You have not demonstrated or explained how free will is not attached to choice. Everything that you do is demonstrating how free will appeals to choice. It is attached to choice. So I want you now, before you even answer the main question, demonstrate how free will isn't attached to choice.
I never said that free will is not attached to choice.
Oh, man, yeah, you did.
What was he trying to prove? Well, wait. He not say I'm going to find the proof, say free will, you know what I mean, is without choice. When proof? Come on, man. He literally just played that.
We got to rewind the tape back, bro.
No,
look.
Wait, just play it off. Play it off.
That's booyah. That's booyah on him. That's booyah on him. So look, he just said that I never. So he's insinuating. He's saying I never said that free will is not attached to choice. He's insinuating that free will is attached to choice. So all of these examples that he's giving is literally proving free will because he's talking about choice. He's talking about choice. That's the end of the debate. And I'm going to go further where he just lied again about it. Get the likes up, everybody. We live. We do it live. They're not going to lie on us. There's no Fugaazy podcast. Biggest podcast ever. We don't lie over here. Yeah. Let's go. Hold up.
Can you unmute me? Can you unmute me?
Again real quick.
Can you unmute me?
We about to play the part where he even speaks about it more.
No, play. Why you can't?
He lies again.
Why you living like this? Living
totally fine. Explain to me and please demonstrate it how someone that disobeys God does not get meaning out of them disobeying God. The statement would be, I'll go ahead and answer. Why would they even disobey God if they didn't get any meaning out of disobeying God?
Christ was constantly debating with the scribes and the Pharisees. They always came and debate with him. And he always used to confound them in their debates. You understand? It's all over the Bible. Christ was constantly debating with the religious leaders.
You get meaning out of it. Listen, bro, you cannot. Here's what's happening here, real quick. You cannot explain free will. And that we don't.
The reason why you switch into meaning is because I've explained free will. I answered the question.
No,
I answered it on both sides. I answered.
So let me just explain what's happening here.
We're going 1 second.
Let me explain the confusion.
No. It happens to us because we're seeking our purpose of life. Whereas you are an example of seeing your family living their purpose of life.
So look, chat is about to come up. It's another contradiction. Another contradiction. So in one part of his breath, he says that, oh, I didn't say that in the beginning of the
Fugaazy played dirty now because it kept confounding him earlier by the definition of what free will is. So now I play dirty, he mute Cap Mike and I play some crap where him, you know what I mean, him not fully understand what Cap said.
Podcast, he says that free will and choice, they have two different meanings. They're not together. Then you just heard him say, and when I said that I got him, you heard him say, well, I never said that free will and choice is not together, meaning he's insinuating that free will and choice is together. Now he's going to contradict himself again. Watch, it's about to come up.
And you chose to live the opposite purpose of life.
That proves free will.
That is not free will.
Everything
because
that
if you went down that same road, the same things would have happened to you. Just like if I went down the same road of my father, the same thing would have happened to me.
I made a choice. Once again, you just admitted here.
But it wasn't free.
We can't. You just lost the debate, bro. Look, he just lost the debate. It's about to come up again, and he's gonna lie. Watch.
But
you just admitted. That's what I wanted you to do, real quick. I'll let you get it out. You've already admitted that you cannot detach free will from choice. You just admitted that you cannot do that. Yeah,
I did not.
Bro. Now, okay, so now he's saying that he does not. Wait, what? That's the opposite from what he just said. That's the opposite from what he just said. Oh, that is it. That's the debate, dog. That's the debate. Oh, you're being very dishonest, Cap.
No, I'm not. You just twisting the way that.
Why am I have the man mic on mute? You have the man mic on mute because you go on a fake victory lap where you don't understand what the man has said. You understand? Because Cap cut him earlier, silence him, lock him off earlier. Now him have to mute Cap Mike, then run back a tape where he misunderstand Cap and keep Cap muted so that it can seem like him a win. This is a very, what I call it, insecure brother. You know what I mean? That brother here seem very insecure and, you know what I mean, him ego easily dented. Because why you don't just unmute Cap, make Cap respond? You don't want him to clear up the air because you want to portray to the audience that you are winning. When you simply because Cap cut you blatantly, silent, lock you off a while ago. You understand?
So first, yo, that's it. All right, let's stop sharing. Let's stop sharing because that just proved everything I was saying. All right, cool. Let's bring that out. Let's bring that up. Okay, let's bring Cap back up here. Wait. Okay, Cap.
Brother, yeah, him have a weak ego, you know what I mean? And you always see him go against black women and talking about black women this and black women that. meanwhile having a white woman as his wife. You know what I mean? Want educate black woman sleeping with the oppressor's wife. You know what I mean? Or the oppressor's woman. You know what I mean? Yes, he say him about, we call it a fragile ego. Him can't deal with a black woman. Him rather the white woman because him think the white woman more submissive. You know what I mean? Him personality kind of come out in this debate. You know what I mean? Me never really get to see that debate and now me I see it for myself now. Him fragile. Why you put the man on mute? Cap up the discipline for even stay quiet if you wanted him to. You understand? You put the man on mute so you can go on a fake victory lap because you lose points earlier big time. And you lose points now because that what you did was really disingenuous.
Am I unmuted
now, Cap. Yeah, you unmuted. Now,
So
Cap, since you just seen...
Hold on. What you said you was going to do when you played the first scene, I said, play the whole thing. You said, I'll play the whole thing. But you stopped it to showboat. And that was dishonest. Yes, you did. I said, play the whole thing when I
not even go up. You
Exactly. It's dishonest. You get to me, I try to say, him a show aside of him that him disingenuous now. You can't know me I see the demons in the brother. Earlier it seemed like just a talkative person, but no, you can see this brother is plagued with demons, man. You know what I mean? The man literally mute Cap Mike, but it's all good. You know what I mean? It's all good.
You just said,
Brother,
Cap.
No. What I don't like.
Go all the way back to the beginning, Cap.
I said it. I don't mind that I said it, but
Okay, so are you going to concede that free will and choice is attached?
I'm gonna say the same thing I said before, but I don't like that you was dishonest. I asked if you would play the whole thing so that the people can get the context of what I'm talking about.
No. We already played it all.
Because this is a conversation. Sometimes you have to say things, but you have to read context. This man here reason with words, and him himself try to twist the context of what free will meant earlier when it said free will is the ability to make choice without any external force compelling you. Him try to claim that no, free will is the opposite of that, and then Cap cut him on it and him shut up. And then him jump to this now, this ringer rosy thing now, where him try gain back some points, and him lose points because of this.
With all the videos
you speak out of one side of your mouth, and then you speak out another side of your mouth, which is a lie.
I should be able to speak. I'm not lying. I didn't think I said it.
You did lie.
I did not, because the context of free will and the context of choice and what we're talking about are different things.
Okay, if it is, then explain how it's different.
I'm going to tell you how it's different. The subject is, does God give free will? No. But did I have free will when I brought up the butters? Yes.
You see what I'm being said? The whole context of the debate is, does God give free will? Right? Fulio never did address that. Him just go off you know what I mean, what the world say free will is. Cap already made the point. When you're looking at the Bible, there's no such thing as free will. The point is already made. The debate has already been won. But this man I go around this ringer rosy thing now. I try catch Cap in him words where, you know what I mean, he missed the context just because he might try gain some points where him lose. Now me see why this boy have a white woman. Because he might try gain some points where him lose. Him lose points with the black woman because no black woman no want him. Now he might forget a white woman. You know what I mean? Yeah, and get the oppressor woman. And, you know, now he have to speak down upon black women. And, you know what I mean? You never want me in the past. Now I get to rub it in your face because now me have a white woman. This is the lowest kind of Negro. And me can say it. You know what I mean? Cap more polite than me. You know what I mean? Me can say it because I see this brother for what he really is. You know what I mean?
And that's
that's choice. Yo, now he's just moving to go further. But guess what? This is proving my point even more. If you had the free choice to go ahead and get better, then God gave it to you because we was created in God's image.
If you would have played the whole thing like I asked you to, and that's why you laughing, because if you
no man, it ain't looking good for you out here in these streets.
If you would have simply played The whole thing.
I played it all. I played both parts.
When
you contradicted yourself.
You lied. You was dishonest to me. At least
no, that's a lie.
Here's the difference between you and I. You played that, and I said before you played it, I said play the whole thing. When I talked about
the whole thing up until you said it.
But I asked you
because you just said something different out of your mouth.
Once again, this is why I said you're being dishonest.
Okay, well, I'm gonna just ask you questions again. I'm not gonna make you run.
No.
We're gonna do it all again.
I just want to make my statement. I asked you to play the whole thing because when I talked about free will being a choice, I said I made the choice to either go do the butters or not. That was the whole context of what I said. I never said free will is not a choice. What I'm saying is God doesn't give free will. So either we're talking about God.
And it's that simple. This is the difference when you know what I mean, between a man and a child. You know what I mean? A child have to pull off some little, you know what I mean, stunt for gain points. He have to rig the game, he have to cheat. You know what I mean? When a man, it's simple. You know what I mean? Get straight to the point. Does God give you free will? No, you don't see that anywhere in the Bible. No, this man mute Cap Mike because him know Captain Tazaryach is Thanos. You understand? Destroying everybody in a debate. So he might pull a little, you know what I mean? But it doesn't show you up as a person. You know what I mean? You're irrelevant at this point. And them style when pull, I gonna make people don't have a debate with him on a serious topic. If you notice, this brother him sit down with women and him debate them and him beat them down, and him can't debate a woman and beat her down because him more witty than a woman. But him have to pull them like a stunt here when it comes to Captain Tazaryach, because Captain Tazaryach is a man and him is a boy. You understand? So, look here.
Oh, we're talking about us. You have to make the decision. So on the subject of free will and God, no, God does not give free will. On the subject of can I get up and make the choice or free will to go and make my butters? Yes, I can. There is no consequence for it. It's just that deep. But
there's no consequences for you getting up to make the butter.
No.
What if while you're making the butter, you burn your hand?
No.
What if while you're
this brother is so weird. It's so weird. The definition of free will is the ability to make a choice without being compelled by an external force like God or somebody trying to force you, right? Burning of hand is not an external force compelling you. What are you talking about? What is even this? What are you doing? You're weird. This is a weird brother.
Making the butter, something from the ceiling drips in it, and then you eat that, and then you put that butter on you, and you break out.
Make sure I do for my listening audience,
for every action, there is a reaction. What are you talking about? For every choice you make, there's a reaction to something.
That minute marker and play it. Since Fugaazy,
this brother is childish, and you can see it coming out now. Look at him. Just look at him. He's childish. That's why he pick on women. He doesn't correct women, you know. He pick on women because you can clearly see him childish. You know what I mean? He very childish, and you can see say boy, him have an issue with black women because I'm childish ways. Tell you something about black women. Black women don't love men that behave like child. You have to be masculine and strong. You understand? And this brother is, you know what I mean, him come like, he's like a high school, you know what I mean, class clown.
Want to be dishonest.
No one's being dishonest, Cap.
I did not. Here's how I would be dishonest. I would be dishonest if you.
I got a question for you, real quick. You explained all of that. You explained. I'll let you talk. You totally explained. I'll let you speak. I got a question for you because it's about to contradict your entire worldview. I literally wanted this to happen.
And then you can ask the question.
I got a question for you, bro.
Wait, before you do that,
you're not muted. I'm not muting you.
No problem. Here's how I would be dishonest. If you played that clip and then I'm still fighting you saying, no, I didn't say it, I would be dishonest. But I knew what I said before you played the clip.
But
and
you said that you said something else.
I did. I still say I said something else. But that's why
you lied, Cap.
No, this is where you're dishonest. This is where you're dishonest.
Okay, continue to gaslight. I'll let you get it all out, and then I'll go. Go ahead.
Thank you. This is where you're being dishonest, because when you said you was gonna play the clip, I said just play up, just keep playing it. Where I used the Butters as the example to explain.
You
what
never
I was
said
talking
use
about.
the Butters as an example. What you talking about?
Said, I'll play. You said I'll play it all, and you did not play it all.
Either way, it's a full contradiction to your worldview, and either way, you lied. So I'm going to explain. Are you done? Do I have the floor? Yes or no?
Yes.
Okay, cool. Thank you. Okay, so what y'all just witnessed here was a gaslighter. He's a professional gaslighter. God dang, nigga, you better than some of them. Nah, you my homie. I ain't gonna talk about you like that, dog. But you are definitely gaslighting. I'm gonna say that. No ad hominems. Is gaslighting an ad hominem? I don't know if it is. I don't think it is.
When you start saying I'm gaslighting because I'm holding
you think it's an ad hominem?
I don't care if it's an ad hominem or not, but what you're not going to do is tell me I'm doing something that you said you was going to do. You said you was going to play the whole thing. It's not gaslighting to hold you to playing the whole thing. You were dishonest.
No, I wasn't dishonest at all. What are you talking about?
Did you say you were going to play the whole thing?
Yo, Cat.
I'm just
you like
this like on record.
All right, Jamed's international high power, right? That's what you're saying. Zin, that's what you're saying. The definition of free will is this. Free will is the power of humans to make choices and act without being forced by outside control. That's the definition. If you type it in Google, that's the definition. Who made up that definition? The Christian church. The debate is not about free will. The debate is, did God give you free will in the Bible? And the answer is no. And I made the analogy that if you go to school and the principal laid down the rules, the principal did not give you free will. The principal said, follow these rules or else. That's not free will. The principal is the external force compelling you. That's no longer free will. Now, if the principal said, do whatever you want, no, that's free will. And that is what you don't see in the Bible. Fugaazy, or you know what I mean, with a weird name like that. Zin, he's being disingenuous. Cap done prove already. Say the Most High don't give you free will. Him can't prove say the Most High gave free will. The debate has already been done, but he might try to get back some points by pulling this stunt, and it's childish. It does show you that some people have podcasts that don't need to have podcasts. It's just some childish people out there, you know what I mean, because of their ability to speak. No, them have a voice on the internet. But really and truly, there are some childish people, you know what I mean, with bones to pick. You understand? And because him can't win the debate fairly, it being in podcast, him press the mute button on Cap, you know what I mean, and try some kind of stunt. And it never worked, you know what I mean? Cap always win.
Did you say you was gonna play the whole thing? Yes or no?
Cap,
yes
real quick.
Or no? I just
Cap, real quick.
Talk. I will be quiet.
Yeah, I got it. Yeah, I got it, Cap.
So
real quick.
No.
Real quick,
won't be no real.
Yeah, so you hear him say Cap lied. So Cap say, did you say you would play the entire thing? Yes or no? Him agree. That means you lied. You did not play the entire thing. You skip from one part to the next. You never play the entire thing so everybody can get the context, because you knew you were losing the debate.
Quick, until you give me a yes or no. Did you say
real quick?
Did you say you?
I gave you the floor. Now you're asking me a question when it was my turn to speak. I'll let you get it all out, bro. Come on now.
Yes or no?
We gotta have. No, listen. We gotta have some decorum, real quick.
Just don't tell me I'm gaslighting you.
Cap, can we establish some decorum where I'll let you speak
Thank you.
Interrupt.
I will let you.
No, that is gaslighting because this brother had no decorum through the entire debate. That's gaslighting. He was doing he even muted Cap Mike. Where's the decorum in that? There's no decorum in this brother. I'm talking about decorum. This brother is a, you know what I mean, a manipulative, and you know, you can just see him personality in a debate. You know what I mean?
Every time I speak, then you ask me questions.
If you just give me a yes
so,
or no.
No.
All I want is a yes or no.
That's not decorum, man. That isn't any decorum.
That's how we come to an agreement.
How we come uninterrupted.
You did not.
You speak uninterrupted.
You did not. The whole time when you were.
Why can't you say, you know what I mean, I didn't tell you that I was going to play the entire video? You know why I can't say that? Because him know say he did and he didn't. He did say he's going to play the entire video and he didn't play the entire video.
Uninterrupted, and you didn't ask any questions. You actually explained yourself, Cap.
Here's what you did. Even when you played the clip, I was muted, and I'm asking
you. Going back to now you get to explain yourself more. Let me.
You get to tell me I'm gaslighting you. I'm not gaslighting you.
Okay, Cap, you being triggered right now because I said gaslighting.
I don't like when people put out a false narrative.
All right, so Ja International, you know what I mean, pull a scripture, Isaiah 44 and 22 and 24. Let's pull it. Zin, Isaiah 44 verse 24, KJV. All right. Let's pull that scripture. 1 second. So it said, thus saith the Lord, thy Redeemer, and he that formed thee from the womb. I am the Lord that maketh all things. So this is talking about making things, right? That stretcheth forth the heavens alone, that spreadeth abroad the earth by myself. This is talking about creation. This is not talking about free will. You know what I mean? You can't use the scripture there to justify free will. All it is saying is the Most High, you know what I mean? If you read one verse, let's read the verses above it, right? Let's start at 21. Remember these, O Jacob and Israel, for thou art my servant. I have formed thee. Thou art my servant, O Israel. Thou shalt not be forgotten of me. I have blotted out as a thick cloud thy transgression, and as a cloud thy sins return unto me. For I have redeemed thee. Sing, O ye heavens, for the Lord has done it. Shout, ye lower parts of the earth. Break forth into singing, ye mountains, O forests, and every tree therein, for the Lord has redeemed Jacob and glorified himself in Israel. Verse 24 now. Thus saith the Lord thy Redeemer, and he that formed thee from the womb. I am the Lord that maketh all things, that stretcheth forth the heavens alone, that spreadeth abroad the earth by myself. Right. So this is talking about redeeming the Israelites, right? And the Most High remind us that he formed us and he created the earth. You can't use that scripture to justify, say, the Most High gave anybody free will. That's just, you know what I mean? That's why we say get in class. You can't read the Bible that way. You have to get the context. You understand? The Bible is not read like that. You understand?
Narrative about me that's not triggering. And so you're not going to tell me that I'm gaslighting you when you said you was going to do something.
If you think that way, do I have the floor? Yes or no?
Can I get it after? Let's say if I
want 1 minute and I'll answer any questions you want.
No problem. You got it.
Yeah. Let me get like a minute and a half. I'll take a minute. I only need a minute. So anyways, this is what happened, chat. So currently right now, what he's trying to do is he's trying to move the goalposts. You know, like when women, like if you catch a chick cheating, like if you look in a girl's phone and you catch her cheating, like you see some text messages, and instead of speaking about what you found in the text messages about her talking to another guy, she's like, oh, you going in my phone? So you're going in my phone now? But that defeats the point of what I found in your phone. I went back, and what we found out was that you lied. You contradicted yourself. Not even contradicted, you lied. You said one thing out of one side of your mouth, but then currently you were saying another thing. And then in the beginning of the podcast, you were saying something totally different. So you've been contradicting yourself. Let's speak about the evidence of what we found. Don't be like one of the chicks that be like, oh, why are you going through my phone? No, let's talk about that nigga that you went out on a date with that I'm scrolling through it. So we go reviewing the evidence. So real quick, you said that in the beginning of the podcast that free will and choice is not attached. It's different. I said, okay, you even gave a definition of free will. You said free will has to have consequences. I said, well, Cap, any choices that you make have consequences. That's just a fact. Like any choice that you make, any action that you take is going to have a reaction. That's how the world works, right? So now you're saying something different. You said that you use an example of getting the butter. Well,
this brother is a flipping maniac. He's a psychopath. Me listening to the conversation that Cap is having, right? Cap did not say free will have to have consequences. Cap said free will don't have consequences because, like the definition says, you are not being compelled or are forced by an external force. This brother is crazy. This brother is a maniac. This brother is something else. He's saying a lot of things and he's speaking fast. He remind me of Polite. You know that the brother Polite of the conscious community? That's who he remind me of. With him talk a lot. You know what I mean? Him talk fast and him skill at talking. But if you listen to what him say, he's lying. But you not go pick up on it if your brain slow, if you not pay attention. If you not pay attention to the debate this whole time, it just going to seem like this brother is saying something and he sounds eloquent, but he's lying through his teeth. Cap never said that. Cap said actually the opposite. Free will is when you don't have consequences. This brother is crazy, man. This brother is a psychopath.
I can get the butter. I was speaking about that free will. Well, guess what, Cap? That still, it can still be consequences on you. Actually, not. It is not that it could be. It is consequences.
You see where he himself? Just listen. So he's going into the point now that Cap creating his butter have consequences. So your Cap is contradicting himself. But you just said Cap said free will has consequences. So you see what I'm do? Cap's all right. Let me slow down and make you understand what I say. Zin, what Cap is saying that he has free will because he can now go and make his body butters without nobody stopping him because he has free will. There's no consequences, right? Earlier, he said Cap says free will has consequences. That's a contradiction. And now he's trying to cut Cap by saying, well, your body butters, you could burn your hand. So there's consequences. So you see how he might wrap up himself in his own lie. Him contradict himself because he's being disingenuous. And this is the thing about people who are not sincere. They do things like this and end up twist up them own self. That's why you see my back shuffle. Let me play about that a little bit and show you how
that's how the world works.
Listen to him.
Choices that you make have consequences. That's just a fact. Like any choice that you make, any action that you take is going to have a reaction. That's how the world works, right? So now you're saying something different. You said that you use an example of getting the butter. Well, I can get the butter. I was speaking about that free will. Well, guess what, Cap? That still, it can still be consequences on you. Actually, not. It is not that it could.
Yes, what I say. Not because no, him end up a cut him own argument. Because him not reason for the point. Him a reason for win the debate or appear like him win the debate. So now him left from trying to cut you with something to trying to cut you with the opposite of what the initial point was. So now him stuck and him stutter and him look like a blasted idiot. Because sincerity is what matters. You understand? You see, when somebody is sincere, all right, that is why, all right, let me give you an example. The Bible, take for example the Bible. You have some people who say the scriptures contradict itself, right? And then them buck up on a scripture and them say, well, see, it said that, ray, that means it wrong. But when you can't continuously continue and follow the pattern of the Bible, you will see what the Bible is really talking about, because the Bible is sincere. So if you see a word round here, so we say something that seems contradicting, continue reading and you'll get the entire context. But with disingenuous people, what they do is try to catch you at simple words, like words not and missing the point. Because they are crazy and they are psychopaths. You understand, Slack? Yeah.
It is consequences on you making butter. The butter is made. You get to sell the butter. You get to put the butter on your skin, and that's an effect there. Or something can drip in the butter and poison your skin, and you can break out in a rash. There's a million different things of consequences that happens after you make that choice. So therefore, you cannot demonstrate, back to my original question, and I want you to answer it. Please demonstrate, right, how you can, or concede to it. Concede to it. Please demonstrate how you can have free will void of choice. If you cannot demonstrate that, concede to it, and that ends the debate, because everything in the Bible appeals to choice, which is free will. Everything in the Bible appeals to choice, which is free will. This debate is done. Please explain to me how you can
do that.
Free will.
Before you do that, you said you was going to take a minute. Okay. I just want to play something, because remember, you said that you didn't say you was going to play the whole thing. I just want to play
No one said that I wasn't going to play the whole thing. What is the whole thing?
Wait, but don't interrupt me. You just said, and I get the floor, and I'm going to give you the floor. You said you only wanted a minute. I gave you the floor.
No. Now you gaslighting again. No one said I'm going to play up until some.
Cap literally went silent while he was speaking a while ago. No, he won't allow Cap to talk.
I said, yeah, go. Yeah, I'll play it.
Any questions?
But I still disprove everything you just said.
Because
you like one of them chicks, bro. You like one of them chicks that
you asked me to be quiet, and I was quiet. Why can't
literally
you be quiet now?
Say, hey, what about the evidence? What about this? What about that?
You just brought your evidence. I didn't have a problem. I didn't reject your evidence. So why you reject mine?
That's what we're talking about. Is the evidence.
Wait, no. What you're doing now is being extremely emotional.
No,
you asked me to stop.
Emotional at all.
Okay, then let me talk. I just let you ramble. I just let you.
Let's get back to the topic of discussion.
Don't run
away.
So, you can bring out your proof and your evidence, and Cap can't bring out him proof and him evidence. This brother is. We're gonna hear something about this brother soon, man. You're gonna hear this brother crazy, man.
I don't have a problem with that. It's 19 seconds.
Don't run away.
19 seconds. It's
totally fine. Don't run away from this.
Then let me play it.
How do you? No, listen. How do you, Cap? How do you? Cap, you muted. You muted. Don't even matter. You muted anyway. You're not running away from this. Don't run away from this. How do you? Please tell me how can you do this? How do you demonstrate free will?
You notice him bring up how chick behave. He's behaving like a bitch. He might try overtalk the audio with Cap try play. That's how bitches work. You catch a bitch in the act, and you know what I mean? What she do? She try overtalk you. You catch her in her lie. No, you're a bum ass nigga. You're this or that. Move your bum buckler. She don't want to stop talk because she a bitch. This nigga is effeminate. Contrary to the image that him portray on the media as if he's so super masculine, you know what I mean? Always confounding chicks. That's what him call them. Him call women what white men call women, chicks. Because this is a Uncle Tom Negro. You understand? So in billing podcast trying to confound chicks. And he's a bitch himself, man. This is a bitch.
Void of choice.
My audience, y'all
if you can't demonstrate free will void of choice, then guess what? This debate is over.
The man literally overtalk Cap. Man, that's not decorum. It wasn't he talking about decorum earlier. You said your piece and Cap went quiet. And now when Cap wants same piece, you talk over him. That's how bitches behave, man. That's feminine. That's weak. This nigga was, you know what I mean, was picking out clothes in the store with his mama. You know what I mean? Helping his mama try on dresses and shit. You know what I mean? This is a bitch ass nigga.
Because we do have free will. Because free will is attached to choice. That's what's happening, Cap.
So now we're getting to
free will is attached to choice.
Am I still muted? Am I still muted? Because now we're getting to the phase of where you got to mute. That's how you know people are in their
you're
feelings.
Moving the goalpost.
I did not move the
lied.
goalpost.
You lied. You've been caught in your lies, and you're still trying to move. I'm not making. Listen, I gave you the floor to speak, and you were speaking. No more lies. This podcast calls No Fugaazy. We're not tolerating any lies over here.
What I did was
we don't tolerate any lies. Let's get back to the point of the debate.
Am I going to still be
having a meta conversation? No. Which is a conversation about the conversation.
Oh, you have a debate and mute. Like, this is a planned debate. Oh, you have a debate and you mute the person who are trying to explain themselves, them side of the debate. Isn't a debate about you put your point across and I put my point across? Or is it that I'm putting my point across and you're muting my mic? It's a good thing. I was going to use his channel to do this reaction, but had I went to his channel, I wouldn't have been able to hear what Cap was saying. He would have been just cutting Cap off, cutting Cap. It just seemed like Cap wasn't saying anything because he was muting Cap mic. It's a good thing me use Cap channel. It's a good thing me use Cap channel so me can hear what Cap say, because if me did view it over this bitch ass nigga channel, then it would have just be him muting Cap and cutting Cap off all the while. This nigga is a bitch. And we know in the ISUPK that a nigga that don't want a black woman or a Hispanic woman is the weakest type of nigga. Because guess what going on now? He can't deal with a black woman. A black woman is too boisterous for him to deal with. So he go and talk to the white woman. This nigga is a bitch ass nigga.
Let's get back to your defeat.
Narrative, but you
let's get back to your defeat. Let's get back to your defeat. The question is, can you please
that's why you're in your feelings. And that's why you didn't want to play it, because you play games. When you say no Fugaazy, you were Fugaazy.
No, can you please explain and demonstrate?
You said was
can you please explain and demonstrate how free will is detached from choice? The floor is yours. Please explain that.
Free will is detached from choice on the subject is, does God give us free will? It's that damn simple. I said that from the beginning. God does not give free will. That's the subject. But when I said what I said was, now I'm being interrupted again. Like,
does God give us choice?
Which one is it? Are you
said free will is attached from choice? You said free will is attached from
your feelings.
God gives us free will because God.
Yes, he said, I'm feelings. Look at him face. Look at him. This brother mixed with some Arab or something. I know the Arabs, them tend to can't control themselves. You know what I mean? Look at him. He's no different from the other one. You have a next one where always a beat down on women. You know what I mean? Come to find out, I think that Arab nigga was gay. I think these niggas are really gay, man. But look on him face. You know what I mean? Him just don't want to accept that he's losing the debate. So he might use him, he might weaponize him platform against Cap.
to get back to the subject.
The question is, does God give us choice?
You just said, I want to get back to the subject.
Paradox, bro.
And then
It's
you
a
asked me a
paradox.
question.
You're not getting.
And then
Ask me another question.
Me again.
I'm asking you another question.
No.
Does God give us choice?
I'm not finished answering the first one. So
does God give us choice?
You didn't want me to talk about how you lied. You want me to answer your.
This nigga is weak. This nigga used to get bullied in school, man. Yo, them used to take away him lunch money. Yo, this nigga used to lose him lunch money. A weak nigga.
Question.
No,
so now I'm going to answer your question.
To gaslight the entire time.
But why you interrupted? I went to answer the question. I didn't bring up nothing. And as I'm answering the question, you interrupt again. Who's emotional?
So real quick. Let's just
there is no real quick. Make the man answer a question. What are you, man?
I'm mixing decorum. I gotta meet you because everything is going off. Listen, real quick. I'm just repeating back what happened. I asked you a question. Can free will be detached?
I want everybody to understand. I'm gonna stop sharing for a second. I want everybody to understand what this guy is doing by doing this muting stuff. What he wants is for me to leave. What he wants me to do is to leave the live stream so that he can say Pat left because he couldn't handle the conversation. That's what he wants. The whole reason why he's muting me is because it is decorum. I was the one talking. You interrupted me in my answer. You don't control this narrative. You and I have been having a back and forth. You and I have been having a back and forth this whole entire time, interrupting each other. It's only now because you know you didn't do what you said that you're doing all this muting. No, you did not. You have never muted me.
The whole debate, even when before it got heated like this, he was interrupting Cap. And it was fine because, you know what I mean, nobody cared. But now that him sister is going to be confounded, and because him lose some points where Cap cut the hell out of him by the definition of free will, now him get all emotional, him start with him antics and him start mute Cap Mike. That's a loser behavior. That's loser mentality. This brother is a loser. Big up to Captain Tazaryach, man. Captain Tazaryach whipping the hell out of this motherfucker, man. Yeah, man.
When you play the recording, I'm gonna ask you a question. No, it's not. I have not. I didn't even fight when you replayed the audio. I didn't even fight it. All I asked was why you didn't play the whole thing. No, I did not. No, I did not. I did not. No, I did not. No, I did not. No, I did not. Now, did you just put me down? So what I'm seeing now. So what I'm seeing now. So I was in the middle of answering the question.
Point of choice. Please answer.
When you see here's what's happening now.
Bro, just answer the question.
Why can't I answer it my way? Like you and your feelings. I got to talk how you want me to talk.
Then mute up. You're trying to run away, man. Listen, man, you're trying to run away.
How am I running away? I said 3 words and you said answer the question. All I said was 3 words.
I just said, listen, this was
all I said was
the question. Let's get back to the debate.
I can answer how I feel. Like, why are you in your feelings? It was 3 words.
No one's in their feelings, bro. No one's in their feelings.
I said,
it's that estrogen, man. That's why he's in his feeling, that estrogen running through his veins, running up and down his brain. He's acting like the chicks that he like to talk bad about, man. He's acting like a chick.
Then let me speak uninterruptedly. So now,
okay. So here's okay. Let's now you're gonna talk uninterruptedly. Now you're talking. I'll let you speak uninterruptedly.
Isn't that how women behave, man? Can't control him emotions. Look at him. Look at him. Everybody just take a look at him. Is this y'all's king, man? Is this the king? This is the nigga that goes around trying to, you know what I mean, make women feel little about themselves with no correction. Meanwhile, sleeping with a white bitch. Some fake leaders, man. Some fake voices out on the internet, man. And look at his behavior when he's up against a man, a masculine man. This nigga, you know what? This is the weakest type of nigga out there, right? He picks on women. He picks on women, but when it comes to him dealing with a man, he get all emotional because he never had a dad in his life. You know what I mean? His mom, he brought his mom to prom. I mean, he brought his mom to prom, you know what I mean? His mother was his everything, you know what I mean? And yeah, he's a bitch ass nigga, man.
Sure, please. Let's just agree to something. Let's reason with one another, Cat.
No, let me talk without. That's the reasoning. When you
let's reason with one another, not Cap.
When you asked to speak uninterrupted, I let you talk. I didn't say nothing.
No, you cut me off, actually, Cap.
I was cutting you off, but then you said, "Let me speak," and you said you can ask me a yes and any questions you want after I speak, and then I got quiet and let you talk. Then you
I asked you a question,
and as I'm answering the question, you interrupt in the question. And my answer, just like now, when you asked the question, I said 3 words, and you interrupt.
You're not answering the question. It's not getting anywhere.
Nobody can know what anybody's saying in 3 words. Now, when you're emotional, though, you interrupt.
No, you can easily say. You can easily go to your answer. You can easily go to your answer. Okay, cool. So look, I'll actually let you answer however you want to answer real quick, and I'll give you.
Really, he don't want to answer. He want the debate end like this. He say, yeah, him win when really it's just him pulling a trick. You know what I mean? A little stunt to gain some points, and him want that be, you know what I mean, the clip. He say, yeah, him win, but really and truly, him lost from about in the 40th minutes. You know what I mean? This debate even went on too long because he lost in the 40th minutes thereabout. You understand? And it just lead up to a point where he eventually got cut out time close, and you can see the shame, and now him pull a stunt. You know what I mean? If you try get some kind of points back out of the debate. But him really lose from way down in the debate. But him want this be the talking point of the debate. You know what I mean? Creating the chaos and then complaining about, you know what I mean, gaslighting and decorum. When he's gaslighting, you know what I mean? He's a weird nigga, man.
I'll give you 1 minute. I'll put a timer.
I don't want a timer. I don't want no timer.
No. We're gonna do a 1 minute timer for some decorum.
We didn't have a.
We're gonna do a 1 minute timer. It's totally fine. I think we need a timer because there's like
Cooley cooking. Is that what you say? Well, that's what bitches do. They cook. They go in the kitchen. You know what I mean? If you was here earlier, you would have seen what he was doing. I guess you're one of those men that listen to Cooley and talk bad about chicks. You're one of those niggas that pick on chicks. You pick on women, don't you? Yeah. You're a weak ass nigga, man.
Lack of decorum here.
You the only one don't have decorum.
So, got it. Look, I'm gonna put a 1 minute timer, and my question is.
Does the
I'm gonna do a 1 minute timer. Listen, I'm doing a 1 minute timer. 1 minute timer.
Does the 1 minute timer go both ways?
Cap, listen. Yeah, the 1 minute timer go both ways. I got you muted because you still speaking while I'm trying to give instruction. I'm gonna do a 1 minute timer, and you're gonna answer the question. After 1 minute, then it's my turn to speak because I'm gonna most likely have another question for you because it's gonna be a contradiction. What just happened before. So here it goes now. Here's my question. My question is,
I'm gonna tell him,
how can you have free will,
mute my mic again, I'm leaving.
Void of choice? And you are unmuted.
If you mute my mic again,
timer starts right now. Timer starts right now.
No, don't start it yet. If you mute my mic again, I'm not doing this live.
Timer starts now.
Can you repeat your question?
Okay. Once again. How can you have free will, void of choice? Good? Timer starts now.
You say you can't remember your childhood?
Yeah.
Let me tell you something important. You can't remember.
No Fugaazy seem gay, man.
As I stated,
no Fugaazy. I think he's gay. I think he's in the closet, man. And everybody that listen to him, I think they're just undercover gays, men that have problem with women, and you know what I mean? They couldn't get a bitch in the past, and you know what I mean? Now they're mad at all chicks. So, you know what I mean? They listen to this weird ass nigga that has a podcast shaming women. That's all they do, shame women. You know what I mean? And they pick the worst women, the women that are prostitutes and OnlyFans to put on them show, to shame them. You know what I mean? But them type of nigga you could stand up to a good, nice, black or Hispanic woman who have morality. You know what I mean? Them could do it. You can imagine a nigga that all in reputation is just to pick on women. What does that say about a nigga like that? Nigga, one, is gay. Two, that nigga weak as hell, man. Weak. Now he might behave like the same bitches on him podcast when him stand up in front of Captain Tazaryach. Pause. You know what I mean? When him face Captain Tazaryach, now he might move like the same bitches on him podcast, because really and truly, he's the original bitch.
Earlier is that the definition says the ability to make choices and act independently without being controlled by external forces. Even when I read the definition, it adhered to a choice. The subject of this debate is, does God give free will? And he does not, because in the definition it says without being controlled by an external force. So if God is the external force and told us to obey his laws.
This is the point that Cap brought out earlier that embarrassed him, and that's why he did this. That's why him now spin off in this whole tantrum, and you know what I mean, him start mute Cap mic and one bag of thing. Cap brought this out. As a matter of fact, he was the one who read the definition and cut him own herself, and then Cap broke it down for him and chop him up even finer. And he get embarrassed after that because he lose and put him foot in his mouth, which he does several times throughout the debate. You understand? This is what caused the problem, because this is where the debate ended and Cap won. So he went on this wall, you know what I mean, this game, this mischievous, you know what I mean, stupidity, you know what I mean, to gain some point. But him lose point as an individual. Him not gain no points in the debate, but him lose points as an individual. Because now we see that he's just like the bitches on this podcast, man.
Or we get punished, then that's not free will by the definition. Now it's my turn to ask a question. I'm done. It's my turn to ask a question. I'm done.
Okay, perfect. So now I'm responding to what you said.
No, it's my
again,
turn.
I told you. No, now you add. I literally just said that. Oh, Cap. Now you being disingenuous. I literally just said that I'm going to ask the question, and after you're done speaking, you get a minute. Then it's my turn to speak because I have another question for you. Did I not say that?
You said I get a minute. Is that minute to ask you a question?
No, I said that you get a full time to speak. You get a minute to speak.
And then after that, don't I get to ask you a question?
Let's just play it back to what we agreed to.
I don't want to play it back. You could just tell me right now. I will adhere to. Just say it right now. I don't need to go back.
Okay, all right, cool. If we don't, once I'm gonna go ahead and reply to your statement. And I have another question because there's a contradiction with your statement.
See, what you're trying to do is
have a reply. That's what happened.
So if you can have a reply to the statement. But after your reply, I get to ask. We got to go question for question, reply for reply. That's fair.
But fair. Cap, understand
I'm not taking another question. I'll take your reply. That's fair.
Understand
you can get a minute reply. Listen.
Got it.
Okay. And after your minute reply, I get to ask a question. We go question for question.
Understand that that you have to defend your point.
We both defending our points.
No, because
I'm attacking you with free will. You attacking me for free will. So you ask the question.
The question is you.
This is a sneaky ass nigga. This is a bitch ass nigga, man. 'Yo, the man sneaky and conniving. How the hell you have a debate and it's one way? Him don't know what a debate is? This motherfucker have a podcast and don't know how a debate is conducted. This is a sneaky ass bastard, man. Damn.
Defending this point, which is a contradiction.
There's no debate that anybody has.
Okay, so let me reply back to what you said. I'll put a minute on the timer.
And I'm asking
just chill real quick. Chill real quick. I'll put a minute on the timer real quick. Because he's about to get obliterated. Very, very easy. Here's a minute on it. Here's a minute on. Okay. So he said that, well, free will is void of choice because in the definition of choice, it's appealing to you have to comply, not with have to comply, but it's appealing to without an external force. He said God is the external force, so we do not have any choice because God is the external force. I'm sorry, we do not have any free will because we do. That's what you said. Wait, you didn't say that. You didn't just say that. You can speak now.
Yo, brother, him all right? Him see the man shake him head and him stop. Brother, you all right, brother? Continue say what you say, no? It's like him a look at argument. Like, that's what bitches do, man. A bitch no really want reason out and find out nothing. She just want an argument. This nigga just want an argument. The man, Cap never say nothing. Cap just shake him head. And you watch Cap so much, you never pay attention to the time, the 1 minute stamp where you have to make your statement. Make your statement. But a bitch always want to have an argument, man. This nigga is a bitch. And if the women on him podcast would just only know how much, I think they know. I think they know. I think they just come on his podcast because probably pay them, you know what I mean? Or probably them get some clout or, you know what I mean, some followers by going on his podcast. But I think they all know he's a bitch. You know different from the women that you try to shame, my brother. You a bitch.
It's a question.
Time.
I'll just it's okay.
When you did them gestures, I didn't say stop time. So my gesture.
What you talking about? You just. I'm asking you a question. I don't care if we can stop.
Yeah, that's the point. You know what I mean? Cap does shake him head, him not say nothing. You stop your time, you throw off your whole argument because you were not saying anything. You had no point. There was nothing coming out of your mouth. Just a bag of bullshit, man. Just a lot of nothing. So you see the man shake him head, him never say nothing, you stop your time and I say, you didn't say that? What you know where the man shake him head at? Continue your point, have some decorum and some discipline, man. Damn.
John, my question is very simple for you, right?
I don't want to no questions. I want to ask my question after your time.
Real quick. Did you
trying to wiggle away to ask me another question? I'm not answering no question.
Okay. All right, cool. So what we'll do is I'll just rewind it. I'll just rewind it back and I'll play it from what you said.
This is childish.
No, it is.
The nigga is childish. Yo, where did this thing? Yo, I want to get that brother here from. The man get a minute for making point. The man inconsistent. You fuck. The man in discipline. Brother, where you get that nigga here from on the internet a teach you nothing about woman? He don't know nothing about woman. He's a woman himself. He's a bitch. And that's why we tell brothers and sisters, get inside the ISUPK. Come learn from Commanding General Yana. Come learn from Captain Tazaryach. Right? Because you know learn about women from Andrew Tate, any spokey motherfucker that comes on the internet, anybody that can talk good, you know want to learn about woman from. When these niggas are bitch, look on Andrew Tate. Come to find out, him is a flipping human trafficker. Him exploit women. And that's the brother you want to teach you how to get a woman. You're going to turn a grapist, man. You're going to grape women. That is what you're going to learn to do. Grape women. And then you have this dumbass motherfucker, man. who have a podcast all about shaming women. And he's a bitch himself. No discipline. You know why I can't deal with a black woman, because black woman know how to sniff out the bitch in you, man. That's why I'm take a white woman. And the white woman, she sniff out the bitch in her too, but a white woman will sleep with anything. She have her ulterior motives. But the black woman can't stay with a weak ass nigga like you, man. That's why you hate black women. And you make your whole career on shaming women. That says a lot about you. I think you're getting pegged, man. You're probably getting pegged at home by that white woman.
No, bro, I'm literally debating a habituary liar. Nigga, like you lying so much.
I didn't say anything just now. I didn't say nothing. I just nodded my head. I just did like this.
No, you shook your head and said no. And I asked you, is that not what you said? Yes or no?
The man shook his head and said no. This nigga, man. He's a weird nigga. Yo, we have to find out about the leaders them, you know, when I have about here, you know. Because when I follow some people and I make some people get popular up on the internet, you know, as if them are teachers for black people. We have to find out about them, you know. We have to know who them really is in a real life, you know. Them secret are going to come out, you know. Because black people like to follow leaders who say things where them want to hear. But they need to cut that shit out. That's like free will. And it doesn't exist. But they need to do what the most I say to do.
You cleaned up what I said. When I nodded my head, that was because you said something I didn't say, and then you cleaned up yourself and then said what I said. All you're doing now, this is very effeminate.
So got it. So then I cleaned up what you said.
And me and Cap realize the same thing about this brother. He's very effeminate. He's effeminate. Very, very, very effeminate. Yeah, man. That's what I was telling you for about 15 minutes now. He's effeminate. Yeah, man. You can see it in his actions.
Okay, fair enough.
Extremely effeminate right now.
Fair enough. I'll finish in my last, what I got. When did I stop that? It was 30 something seconds on the clock. So I got 30 seconds left. I'll put 30 seconds on. I'll do 30 seconds.
I'm sure, man.
Cool. So anyways, Cap says that, well, God is the external force. And God, within this, he doesn't give us free will. He never disproved that free will is attached from choice. The statement is free will is attached from choice. I'm asking him to disprove it. You know why free will is attached from choice? Is because every single choice that we make, the fact that we have a choice, God judges us for it. Why would God tell us not to sin? Okay, 30 seconds. Why would God, I'll just finish over real quick, my last little sentence. Why would God tell us not to sin, but then judges us for sinning? Because we have the choice to sin or to not to sin. Free will is attached to choice. Try to detach it. You can't. Go ahead.
My question to you is, Deuteronomy 30:5 that we've been talking about in Deuteronomy the 30th chapter that we've been talking about all day, when it says, I've set before thee this day. Well, I'm gonna make a statement and then I'm gonna ask the question based on the definition of free will. So I'm gonna say it differently. Deuteronomy 30:19, I call heaven and earth to record this day to you, that I've set before you life and death, blessing and cursing. Therefore choose life that thou mayest live. And then when we read the definition of
all right, so back to I'm gonna make Cap speak, but back to the point of free will. The scripture literally said, choose life. There's no free will. The Most High always tell you what to do. He never said, pick one or the other. He said, choose this side. There was never free will. That is the point of the debate. Did the Most High give you free will? No. The debate done.
Free will. And free will clearly says the ability to make a choice and act independently without being controlled by an external force, which anybody listening will explain, will know why I separated the choice from free will. Based on that, is God an external force, yes or no? And if the answer is that it's yes, he is an external force, how is that free will? That's my question.
Got it. That's a very, very, thank you for that question, actually.
You got a minute.
So, I mean,
you got a minute. That's the rule.
Put a minute on the clock. Let's put it right now, man.
Clock up.
That's an easy.
I gotta reply.
That's an easy answer. So how? Just to repeat it back to make sure I have it right. Okay. Let's just start it all over then, since you can't see the timer. Boom, right here. So God and choice, God giving us choice and things of that nature, just the fact that we can make a choice to disobey God is free will. So you said that, well,
you're not answering
God is an external force. Yes, God is an external force. So how do we have choice? How can we make a choice if God is an external force? How can we have free will if God is an external force, right? We can choose to obey God, or we can choose to disobey God. All the sinners, all the non-believers, all the people that believe in God, they're still making a choice without this external force. Do you get it? There's atheists, they don't believe in God. They're making a choice not to believe in God. There are people that believe in God. They're making a choice to obey God or to disobey God. This is a choice which is attached to free will.
So
that's 1 minute. Go ahead.
My reply, this is how you know he's hurt. Butt hurt. Because the definition of free will, once he admitted that God is an external force, he lost. Because God being an external force means it's not free will, because free will is a choice that's independent of external force. That's the end of this debate.
And Cap made that point like 2 hours ago and win the debate long time. And this dumbass, effeminate nigga came back round to cutting himself all over again. Like him no member. You see, when you talk too much, you no remember what you say, you know. And you see when you're full of pride and you think you're something that you are not. You tend to don't pay attention to your own words. You understand? Him come and make the same mistake that put him in a spot that caused him to crash out earlier. And the same mistake he make again. The definition of free will is the ability to make a choice without an external force. Cap's point is the Most High is an external force, therefore we don't have free will. See? Cap asked him, is the Most High an external force? Him say yes. The debate done. The debate finished.
You're a liar. You're a liar. You're reading it wrong.
It's my reply. Why I gotta get interrupted in my reply? I told you, effeminate, like emotional.
No, it's feminine. What are you talking about? You just lied. We're having a back and forth.
No, we're not.
Lie, old man, lie. Yo, that brother, yeah, him weird. Yo, wanna get him? Never ask, you know, cause on the internet, you know. On the internet, which part you find this brother named Cooley? No Fugaazy. Where wanna get him from? Can I see him pop up on the internet, you know, Bridget? Where him come from? Where wanna find him? I can't, Bridget. You know, see, I must the CIA or so. Can't make no sense, you know, Bridget. Where wanna get him from? How him become this popular and this big? Where him come from? FBI and the CIA, you know what I mean? Them people that would just pop up and spawn out of nowhere. FBI and the CIA. FBI. Yo, where them nigga you just come from out of nowhere, just big on the internet, so. Come to find out he's a weak ass effeminate nigga, man. Come on, man. We need better leaders, man. And those better leaders are in the ISUPK, man. Under commanding General Yana. Get inside these classes, man.
Free will. No, free will. No, stop it there. You just lied. Free will is the ability to make choices without being compelled by outside influences. So let me just share my screen real quick so you guys can read the definition of.
That's literally what Cap said. Damn, this mother. Damn.
Free will too, so you can see that this guy is a liar. He keeps on lying. I don't know why he keeps lying, but he keeps on lying.
Hey, I left.
So he mute Cap mic again, and Cap tell him, say, if you mute my mic again, me a cut, me a leave. So Cap leave. Because Cap is a man of him word. When this child, this little pitney, when think a joke, we a joke over here, so him think a ramp, we a ramp over the ISUPK. He might do this for some clout or fun, or if somebody send him. Bridging, I don't joke around over here, so. You think the ISUPK will them debate here because, you know what I mean, we want to seem like we're smart. We are trying to fix black people and Hispanics and Native Indians. But you have dumbass, effeminate niggas on the internet, man. What is their purpose? Nothing. Just sounding smart. That's all. Just sound like you have some sense. But that's not enough. That's not good enough. These niggas better go in the background, man. Yeah, man. It's time for these niggas just get out of here, man. You know what I mean? I think the debate finished. I'm going to make Cap say what I must say, and then we're going to close out. You know what I mean? In the meanwhile, make sure so you like, subscribe. We're going to come up with another debate again tomorrow. You know what I mean? In the afternoon, so about 3 o'clock or 2 o'clock, we're going to touch upon another debate. You know what I mean? Yeah, man. So, we're going to make Cap say in final words, and then we close out.
I left his room. The reason why I left his room, as y'all can see, if I blow this up and make this big, y'all can see he muted my mic again. I'm not going through the whole muting of the mics or anything like that. I'm not doing that. What I will take the opportunity to share, though, let me stop sharing my screen here. What I will take the opportunity to share is my screen. This is what I was looking for, I believe. Hold on. Let me make sure this is it. Bear with me 1 second, y'all. I just want to play it. Let me see. I think this is it.
Of the podcast. Right. Then literally just 5 minutes ago, we can rewind the tape. Matter of fact, I'll rewind it for you and show you because I do this live on people all the time. I'm a great listener and I have amazing active listening skills. I'm going to rewind it live on the podcast so you can see. The audience already sees it, but
sure
so you
play all of
so
what
you
I
can
said.
see. Oh yeah, I'm going to play it. Yeah, I'm going to play real quick.
Now see how you said, "Oh yeah, I'm going to play it." Because what I said, the only thing I wasn't able to find was when I said the choice, if I have the choice whether I go make the butter or not. So what I will do is I'll find it probably after this live stream is over and then just show that. I think anybody can clearly see, like I was saying earlier, what Cooley does with the whole moving me down, muting and stuff like that. And people say, Cap, you got to act a certain way. That's not, it reminds me of when, and I wish people, I think, I've been doing this about 15 years now, right? I've been doing debates for about 15 years. Hold on, so I've been doing this about 15 years, for those that don't know. The scriptures say be seasoned with salt. 2 hours and 43 is the minute marker. Shout out to Trip the Ghost. Now, I don't know how, the only thing I don't know how is how would I find the 2 hour and 43 minute marker? But Trip the Ghost, shout out to you for putting that minute marker in there, because what threw me off, the detached from choice, I didn't think I said that. That's no big deal. But when he brought up the free will as a choice, I clearly said, even if you go to the back and forth that we had on the definition of free will, it says free will is the choice. So the argument was never about, do we have a choice? The argument was, does God give us free will? Now, to my audience.
Introducing PC Cleaner. Your one.
I think we can close it off there, so. You know what I mean? Excellent debate again from Cap. Cap never lose. You know what I mean? Cap never lose. He made the point. The argument was never whether or not we have choice. Choice and free will is two different things. What is your will? Your will start from your mind, you know. Having a free will is your freedom for, you know what I mean? Will whatever you want. You understand? Choice is different from free will. Choice is the decision that you make. You understand? The Most High did not say, will what you want to will. The Most High said, do my will. The prayer said, pray like this, thy will be done, meaning the Most High will be done. Not our will. We don't have free will. There's no such thing. The Most High of the Bible, this Bible does not give free will. But Christians, because they are not of the Bible, they created that term. And that term is disingenuous because God does not give it. And with that, yeah, man, excellent debate. You know what I mean? Cap never loses. You understand? Stay tuned tomorrow, 2 p.m. Between 2 p.m. and 3 p.m. We're going to have another excellent debate. You know what I mean? Again, you know what I mean? Thank you for coming through. Like, share, subscribe. Shalom.